We are love. We are peace. We are free. We have abundance. We have everything within us. For we are, for we will always be. For Mother Earth is love. For Mother Earth has peace. For Mother Earth is free. For Mother Earth has abundance. For Mother Earth has everything within her. For she was, for she is, for she will always be. And so it is spoken, so it has been written, and it is done.
You have entered into a dimension of truth, where time does not exist, and illusions are shattered. The journey of truth is intense. The journey of truth will set you free. Consider this a warning as you enter the dimension of Truth UnCONPromeyezed.
We are in the age of truth, freedom, love, prosperity, abundance, and peace. Welcome to Truth UnCompromised.
All right, family. Welcome to the Truth UnCompromeyezed Show. I am your host, Rhonda. And tonight is Thursday, August 19th. We have a great show planned for you. Let me get up the screen, family. We are actually on, the 40th episode in our series, Momma Terra and the Consciousness of Her People. So before I go into a high-level recap of how we got where we are, let's give some shout outs to our YouTube family. Peace and love to Son Scotty. Peace and love to American Indian Star. First time KGBZ is in the house. Peace and love. KGBZ be commenting y'all on the vids and always be dropping like some conspiracy stuff. And why his comments, I'm assuming he's a male, always be getting straight censored. I be rolling. So I don't know what you done to YouTube, but you stay on censorship. So peace and love. Good to see you. Peace and love, Brother Jay Rish, all the way in Saudi. Peace and love, Nuwa. Peace and love, brother. We've been looking for you. Where you been? I'm glad to see you. Glad everything's well, because we haven't seen you. I ain't seen you in a bit. So good to see you. Who else in the house? I know. Let me scroll down. Peace and love, Clarence. Peace and love, Capricorn Rising. Peace and love, Sis Stephanie. Peace and love, Helenice. Peace and love, JBP. And who else in the house? I know I'm... peace and love, Queen Ottawa. I'm just seeing you. Okay, and peace and love, Sis Rhonda. It's me. Good to see you, Sweet Pea. Okay, so let me just recap. And peace and love to all of the YouTube family that's watching, but you're not in the chat. Okay, So just a high level recap on how we got to this series. If this is your first time joining us in this series, we started out this series recapping a study conducted by the Alphabet Boys on consciousness. And in this particular study, they literally went in detail with their participants in the study on the power of consciousness. By one example, they had the participant think in their mind of like I think it was a pebble hitting water. And so they had them really concentrate on it. And then they shined this infrared light in the atmosphere by where the participant was thinking. And they literally saw what showed up on that infrared light, a hologram of that pebble hitting the water. And so they did it again, the experiment. I'm sure they did it a couple of times with the participants. And they did it again, but this time they interrupted the participant as they were thinking this thought before they finished the hologram creation of the water hitting the pebble, making waves in the water. And they saw in the hologram fall, and it shattered because that consciousness thought process was interrupted. So they shined the camera, the infrared camera, on the shattered pieces, and it was little, each individual piece had that pebble in the waterfall represented in that piece. So that proves literally that you create your own reality through your thoughts, through your consciousness. Okay, so that was just one revelation they dropped. They also admitted that the concept of time that they teach as being linear, past, present, future, is not correct. That the process of time all happens at once, and it is based on a frequency. Okay. They also admitted that there is an astral plane. So meaning when you're dreaming, and you're dreaming in color, and you're dreaming vividly, and you're smelling things, you're tasting things, you're communicating, and usually when you're communicating in the astral world, you're not physically speaking. So start becoming aware when you're dreaming in color. You're not physically speaking. You're always speaking telepathically, or you speak via with pictures. You'll pass pictures back and forth with each other. But they admitted that there is an astral plane. Okay, and they also admitted multi-dimensions. So very, very powerful study. So we was finna be done, we was finna be done with the little series. Then Brother Sean brought in some supplemental material called Path to Orion, Earthly Route to Peace with Justice by Emily Windsor Cragg. You can get her PDF online for free. She wants you to get it online for free. And you can also get her book on Amazon. Okay. So in this book, she literally talks about the history, the true history of planet Earth, Mama Earth. And she talked about the invasion that happened with Mama Earth. And she talked about the beings that invaded the planet and how the concept of religion, all of the social systems that we see, how they came into existence today, what were their true origins. Interestingly enough, she said that the first beings, invading beings, she didn't say invading, I'm saying invading beings, were the Anunnaki. And she said 450 1,000 years ago. But when they came to the planet, there were already people here in North America. Okay. So I just want to note, and this is why I always point out that if there were already people on the planet when they got here, and we know that the origins of religion are coming from these beings, and especially the religious systems we see today are straight from the Anunnaki and all of their Sumerian texts, etc., etc. That should really, really make you think about things, okay? But with that said, as she was dropping all of this knowledge, that kind of put me in the mind of the Terra Papers from back up in the day. I hadn't had my hands on that copy for a while, and shout out to Sis Tressie. She got us a copy of that. So we're going through them Terra Papers. Baby. It really goes through a lot, y'all. Really, really goes through a lot. Gets down to the origins of things, even down to the language, down to the titles. So, y'all know how we do. I ran across some information via Adapt 2030's channel on time travel, literally a patent, y'all. So that's what we've been on for these past few weeks. And of course, we took a couple of zigzags as we got into the true composition of what is the dome, what is the flat earth theory, what is the black sun, how is the actual sun and the moon created, etc., etc. So we went over that 2 weeks ago. Child, we've been going over a lot of stuff. So that's why this series is running so long. So this week, there's a couple, not too many follow-up items. I do have another source that I want to introduce you all to, a courtesy of Brother Christopher. So we're going to get into that and get back into finishing up the time travel pattern. So if you have not caught this series, you can go back to the very first one to get into the Alphabet Boys Study of Consciousness document. We give you the source several times. You should be able to follow the chat. Son Scotty dropped the actual link to the document in there, and I also give you the name of the document. Child, I can't remember it right now. Okay? All right. So with that out of the way, let me bring on my co-host. I know Sis Sandra is in the building. So let me unmute you, Sis Sandra. Okay. Sis, yep, you're ready. Peace and love, sis.
Peace and love to you, Sis Rhonda, to the family, Brother Sean, Brother Scotty.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I can't complain. I've been busy today, however, so if I'm scattered, brain, don't mind me.
Oh, okay, no worries. I understand, sis. It gets like that. Shoot, we be trying to work and stuff. So, okay, so Brother Sean and Son Scotty haven't made it up here yet. Child, I actually do have something to put on. Go ahead on with the fuckery tonight, but you are always the first one to start us off, Sis Sandra.
I'm so lucky. Hey, you had a blog on there about their terraforming the West. Well, it just so happens I heard somebody speaking in, I guess, one of the movements, the Patriot movements. And do you know that Paradise, last year when Paradise caught fire, there was a person who recycled the trash cans.
Okay.
And so he, I think, went and bought a lot of mills and stuff up. So what they find now is that they don't have to, have permission to get the wood when it's burned.
Okay, so, I'm with you. I'm following you thus far.
So they're taking the wood and they're not trying to fight the fires, you see. Like in Canada, they're not trying to stop the fires because now all these mills can get all the trees that they want. So that means our forests are going to be deforested without all the permits and all the costs and all that kind of
It's
stuff.
all, they just,
Yeah. It's really pretty bad because, once, last year they were accused of that laser fires. And so this year they're pretty much doing the same thing, I do believe, because the house would burn, but the tree would.
Yeah, that's what we noticed. It's like, okay, here go the house. Y'all know me with my analogies.
Yep.
Here go the house. Here go the tree. How the tree didn't get burned?
Right.
Like, okay.
So now they get the trees because they can take that wood now because, they can sell it and just make money off of it.
Yeah, and the wood lumber prices are finally starting to go back down, but it's just disgusting overall.
But there's a connection. There's a connection to the man. I have his name. I don't know if I should say it publicly. Who did the trash can recycling to
recording in progress.
To Apple computer chick. They have the same last name.
All right, don't say it, but say what you said again, but don't say dude's name.
Okay, he has a connection. One who did the recycling of the trash cans to the Apple chick stuff. So it's a connection. So they're all connected to that other dude. That other dude that supposedly already transpired, and I guess I could say his name if he's already transpired, Soros. So it's all a part of their little game to make all that money. Just like if they put out the hoochie coochie, you take the hoochie coochie, and then they give you a pharmaceutical that helps you, help with the symptoms. So they make double money off of you because the doctors are getting paid the bank for the amount of patients they get to take the hoochie coochie. And so that's why they are coming on with a little fake narratives about what good it is for you when they know for fact there is nothing that stops viruses, no injections, nothing. And if there was, we would never have had the flu ever again. Because they know that viruses mutate by design, the way they're made, lock and key stuff. They change their, form all the time.
Right.
And so you're going to get all these variants that they're talking about because it's a virus. It's not a bacteria. It's a virus. It's a living organism and it's changing. So it's like,
and I like I said, I don't go over that topic. Not that I'm telling you not to go over it, but the reason I don't is because people gonna keep taking it anyway, and they're gonna try to shame folks that aren't gonna take it into taking it, and it's not going to work. So they get what they get, because if they can't see how crazy this is, that okay, you take it once, now you got to take it again, and then I heard you got to take it again, and I'm like, that's on them. If you dumb enough to keep getting shot up like that,
it's an experimental thing.
No, it's to insert them nanobots, so that's on them.
And these girls,
that's the only component I'm willing to talk about on that topic, to tell folks really what's going on. But other than that, I personally, I'm not going to discuss it anymore because it's all been put out there, and whether or not folks think the conspiracy theorists are crazy or not, all they have to do is do simple research. So I don't keep talking to the dead. I just don't.
you can't. My son gets very upset with me. Stop trying to save these people. You can't do it. And it's just a bad habit because of my profession. I've tried to educate people on their care when
Right.
but I have a lot of enemies now because they don't want to hear it.
Child, they not finna raise my pressure. I'm gonna tell you that over that bullshit. I don't even bother it. I don't talk about it on any of my social media platforms, and I be seeing the components of taking it, giving all of these crazy ass justifications, trying to shame people into taking it.
Right.
I've seen some of the stupidest shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you will eat a hot dog, but you won't take this. I'm like, if you don't shut your goof ass up, none of that is gonna move us. Huh?
I said, yeah, what is the correlation? And I don't post it.
I've seen shit like that. I don't think it was a hot dog. It was some, I don't know if it was pork rinds. It was something. I'm like, if you don't shut your goof ass up,
then
I know.
This hoochie coochie is the linchpin for all of the social engineering things that they got going on. So even on social media engineering, like you post anything about that with a word, you could say, I'm about to go take a shot of vodka. They put in a censorship thing at the bottom talking about fact checker. Like, hold on, I just said the word shot.
Child.
And so, even that, you can just see, why are they so, it's social media. Why do they need to put all this fact checker and censorship and marketing ads? If I can't even open up nothing without saying something about this bitch. I'm tired of this bitch.
Right. That's why I don't even bother trying to put nothing on my page about it, because I don't need the headache. Anybody that's taking it at this point, they want to take it. That's their and to be real honest, that's their motherfucking business. Just like it's mine to not take it. So it is what it is at this point.
That's true.
Only thing I'm going to do is tell you about them nanobots and what the next setup is and what the real hitting is. But other than that, and that's for y'all. That ain't for them, because they'll never believe that.
Well, they need to look up what the side effects of lead poisoning is.
They don't care. What part of they don't care don't you understand?
I don't know. I don't understand it.
Because they can't see, America put out these big studio movies and shit. They can't even tell they in the movie right now. You can watch a movie. This shit crazy. This would never happen in real life.
It's right
here. You just walk outside bitch, you see this shit happening right now? Right.
They don't care. They don't care. I mean, I Am Legend, all of that shit. They just don't care. So I'm not finna get my pressure up over that. It is what it is. Okay, son Scotty, you have any go ahead on with the fuckery? Because I do have one tonight, but I'm give you all an opportunity.
No, I just be pitching in. I didn't have anything pressing for going with the fuckery right now.
Okay. Well, folks probably already know what I'm gonna say. Okay. So this me with the anti-do-rag on. Fake ass conscious community. I've been told you all. Fuck the conscious community. Yeah. I've been done told y'all that. I have been consistent with it. I have told you all about the conscious pimps. I have been consistent with it. I started really strongly warning you all back in 2019. Although into 2016, 2017, I was giving y'all the game. But I started strongly warning y'all 2019 on them conscious pimps. And we told y'all by 2020, folks gonna be getting exposed, and they falling like dominoes. Falling like dominoes. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all better get out of their motherfucking way or you're gonna fall with them.
Right now.
Get out of their way or you're going to fall with them. And specifically to women, you better get out their way. Ain't nobody got no motherfucking conspiracy against these pimps and hustlers. There is no conspiracy. Let me rewind that for you slow bitches. There is no conspiracy on these pimps and hustlers. So you can keep swinging that mammy cape if you want to. If you don't get out the way as they fall, you're going to fall with them. And you know what? I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with that. Nobody gets a pass. Now this piece of shit, Polite, been scamming the conscious community of melanated people for years. And he been scamming them out of big time money. Thousands of dollars. People losing their life savings. Youngins losing their life savings. And nobody gave a fuck. The same conscious community. None of you motherfuckers gave a fuck. You know why? Because you in on the lick too. All of you low down motherfuckers on the back end, hiding each other's dirt, getting paid as you cipher money from melanated people. Y'all been knowing that greasy looking motherfucker with the fucked up ass hairline. Y'all been knowing he was a piece of shit. And then here's the thing that fucks me up. It's bad enough y'all knew he was scamming people out of their money. That's bad enough. And we're not even talking $100 here, $200 there. We talking big time money. $25,000, $50,000. People losing their homes. And from what I was told, DC ran his ass up out of there. Plenty of people looking for Polite. And then just like all of them with they funky stinking asses, when they can no longer fleece the people, when they sitting comfortable, it don't become about building no more. It ain't about, quote, quote, building a community. Now all of a sudden you so fresh and so clean. It's all about the bag, all about material things. You too good for this and that. And the conscious community still gave his stinking ass a pass. And then if I remember correctly, Sinetta, 2-3 years ago, first of all, I really don't know Polite like that. I just knew his name in passing. Some motherfucker that stood out on the corner in New York and talked shit. I didn't know him like that. He up to tell us he studied up under Dr. York, and nigga, that's supposed to mean what? Because we know that nigga's resume as he sit behind the slammer for messing with babies. And I ain't trying to hear that shit. He didn't do it. Go read the motherfucking court transcript. Oh, that nigga did it. Them babies were pretty fucking detailed. So that should have been red flag number one. But nah, you niggas gave him a pass because, oh, I forgot. It was a conspiracy against York. I fucking forgot. So, Sonetta, if I remember motherfucking correctly, you and Polite fell out. And I don't even listen to you like that, Sonetta, because your folks be arguing it on platforms. But I don't bother you. You do your thing. Cool. But this is where I motherfucking have a problem with you as an elder. Because, nigga, you an elder. Couple years ago, you were the one outed Polite for messing with babies with a 14-year-old girl. You the one aired it out. So I thought you wasn't fucking with him no more. But again, I don't follow you like that.
These niggas ain't shit.
So I didn't know that you was messing back around with him, whatever the case may be. So now this fresh shit jumps off, which is just absolutely disgusting. What he did to this 14-year-old. I'm talking about the recent shit where his ass just bailed out of jail from. Because personally, you conscious community motherfuckers should have been took care of that nigga. But you let him go through and fleece the community. You know why? Because you niggas don't give a fuck and you ain't no good. That's why. But Sinetta, it was you that brought to the public him messing with that 14-year-old girl. So, did you think we forgot about that? So, the incident that just jumped off, you gonna call him like, man, what's up? Like you want him to tell his side of the story? What motherfucking side do he need to tell? And then, like I knew you would, because I had just said that day, it ain't nothing but about the money. You had the audacity to want to interview this greasy ass looking nigga and want to charge people $10 to hear the interview? So you mean to tell me you was going to charge $10 to the people to listen to this greasy ass nigga lie that you know he did it? $10. Wow. So you mean to tell me you were going to make a profit on the 14-year-old's baby's abuse? That's what the fuck you gonna tell me. And you have children. Probably grandchildren at this point. No, we can't let you slide on that one. And I don't even rock with you like that. But how fucking low can you sink? Do you not fucking understand how that makes you a piece of shit right along with him? None of you niggas have any value. You're hustlers and you're pimps. You don't give a fuck about the conscious community. There is no conscious community. And none of you niggas give a fuck about women or children. And I have told you niggas for years, it's over. Ain't none of this black man gonna rule, gonna resurrect no kingdom. It's not gonna fucking happen, bruh. I done told you niggas that. You're not fit to rule. So don't just think this polite shit is the end of it, because it ain't. All of you niggas gonna fall. Each and every last one of you. And we're gonna step out the way and we're gonna watch you fucking fall. The universe has spoken. All of this fuckery, this pimping, this hustling, this licking folks, this shit is over. Every fuck thing that you all do is recorded in the universe. And you got to answer for that. So like I always eloquently say, fuck the conscious community and fuck all of the pimps, hustlers, and mammies. All right, so that concludes that. All right, y'all.
Wow.
So,
we were just thinking about that, my son and I. Those people with their out of Africa things and the big debates they had and how much you had to pay to listen to their debates about whose side is right and stuff. And I haven't heard about them in a long time, but
yeah, I didn't even follow their asses like that because I can't take all of that fucking arguing back and forth and they pulling out these, and the shit just didn't make sense to me. I could never get into it, but I'm like, okay, if that's what people like, that's fine. But then when we started hearing the reports of these niggas fleecing people out of big money, because it's more than about paying $10, $20 for their funk ass lecture. They were literally fleecing people out of big money. And then they stinking asses had the nerve to pull this polygamy card, and I've been told y'all, I don't give a fuck what you niggas say. It ain't gonna be me. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Get the fuck out my face with it. Because ain't none of you niggas proved where you can sustain a household with one woman and children. Most of you niggas ain't even maintain a household with yourself. So who the fuck you think you talking to the polyg what? Then they brought that shit in. Then we start hearing about abuses on that. It's fucking sick. It is sick. These men have done nothing but created cults. They've caught people coming up out of religion and just boop, got them and put them into something else. That's all the fuck they did.
And don't forget catching them out of prisons too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then you got the mammies who ain't never known nothing good in their life regarding a man. Oh, the black man. Oh, the black man got it so hard. As this bitch got a black eye. He done took your motherfucking check. Oh, the black man. Bitch, you must be out of your mind. It'll never, ever, 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 ever happen to me and mine. My family didn't invest in me for a piece of shit to abuse me. Are you out of your motherfucking mind? And I dare the elders, you old motherfuckers, put this shit out there for these babies. You will be dealt with. Y'all in these groups and you know this shit is rotten to the core. You see the abuse. But you don't give a fuck because you're eating. You're a piece of shit. And y'all want to sit up here and talk about community. Ain't done shit. Ain't opened the building, ain't done shit. But y'all done collected some heavy money. You done collected some heavy money. So we finna see. We finna straight up see. We're gonna see you fall. So melanated people, y'all could keep on with the fuck shit. I am telling you, this is the end game. It is your responsibility to get your head up out your ass. Stop looking for a savior and save yourself and your family. You are responsible for self and family. Control self, clean up your household and your family, then you can clean up your block. Then you can, quote, quote, build a nation. Most of you people can't clean up self, can't clean up family. So how the fuck you run into a group talking about a nation? I'll wait. And neither can none of them niggas you running up behind do it either. They haven't successfully done it. You better get your head out of your ass, because you're going to be held accountable as it regards to these babies. No child deserves to be put in a fucked up situation because you trying to find yourself. Don't nobody give a fuck. You're going to be dealt with. I done warned you motherfucking elders before. You're getting dealt with. And you ain't seen nothing yet. So go on and keep collecting money, Umar. You trying to start something in Chi-Town, supposedly and allegedly. We watching Tariq on your motherfucking museum. I don't know how you got a pass on putting out a documentary called Buck Breaking with supposedly melanated men getting sodomized and giving BJs on the plantation. I don't know how the fuck you got away with that. And nobody called you on that.
Because that's what them niggas do. That's what I want to put in there. They the main ones talking about agenda this and the white man this. It'd be like, y'all is the actual agenda. Now I look at it. Y'all is the ones that's confusing people and diverting people and keeping people in the low vibrational energy and talking about, yeah, let's build a nation, do this. We need to come together. We got to build. But meanwhile, y'all doing fuck shit and destructive, depraved ass shit.
Exactly. So we watching Tariq. I don't know how you got away with that last documentary. But then again, yes, I do. Because the conscious community ain't about shit. They don't hold people accountable. Oh, no, I take that back. I'm sorry. I apologize. My bad. You fucking hold women accountable for shit we didn't even do. Pieces of shit. So, yeah, we watching Tariq on this museum. We watching. Prove us wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. So, that's it, y'all. Shit, fuck them. Okay. So, let's get into this. The topic. Let me get to my notes. Brother Christopher, he did something. Wait a minute. He pulled out something. Trying to figure out how I can do this. Because he has 2 videos actually. And one of them, I might have to do it next week because I didn't transfer it over like I needed to. Okay, I might have to do it next week. Damn it. Oh no, wait a minute. Child, sorry. Okay. Wait, hold on, family. I got it. I named it. Okay, let me get this first one. Hold on, family. All right.
Indigenous people out here.
All right, hold on. Oh, dag, that means Scotty, son Scotty and sis Sandra, when I bring this on, I'm sorry. I didn't put it on the other screen. So if you're trying to hear it on Zoom, I don't think you'll be able to hear it. You may have to listen via YouTube. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Will I give you echoes?
Huh?
I give you feedback?
Just mute yourself. All you got to do is mute.
This how I was having to do that time when they was messing with the Zoom or whatever. I had my freaking earphones and my AirPods in, listening to it on my phone, and I was talking through my speaker.
Oh.
That's why I was like, I was trying to like keep up.
Okay. Yeah, so I forgot. If I put it on the other PC, y'all could hear it. But I don't think you're going to be able to hear it through the Zoom. You can try, but I'm not for sure. So if you can't hear it through the Zoom, then listen to it through YouTube, but just mute your line. Okay? It's all right, family. Here we go.
It's traveling bear of the Yamasee Nation, a great honorable Tomahawk bloodline. It's Urban Indian Talk, the Urban Indian Talk Show. Right from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I tried to do this yesterday. They actually erased it. They actually erased this yesterday. The one we did yesterday got erased. And one of the brothers found pieces of it. And he's like downloading it little by little.
That's you.
But it got erased. As soon as we went off air, they froze it. They didn't let me post it. And they just totally erased it. Instagram. So, Halito, Ucha, to all the indigenous people out there, what's happening with y'all? So, I don't know if the brother's gonna pop on or not, but we're gonna try to do this again. I only have an hour on here, so we only have an hour on here, so we're gonna try to make it pop. All right. What I was trying to say yesterday was that your emotions, right? These things get looped. They get caught in loops. And how they do this is that they have to create scenarios for you to attach yourself to. And that can busy you with things, and while they continue to do whatever it is that they're doing, they continue to keep you in a loop. This is why it looks like people say stuff, I'm bored, or people say stuff like there's nothing to do. Well, you've been doing the same thing your whole life. You've been doing the same exact thing because you've been put inside of a loop, a time loop. You've been living the same life over and over and over again. And you start to realize it at some point. That's where the drag comes from. The feeling of loss comes from. Like, what's going to happen next. Like, man, my day is just, this is what I do every day. Because what happens is you get trapped inside of a concept and illusions, and you keep living that same illusion every single day. Like, for example, during the pandemic, right? This is how people caught in loops. They actually had people playing basketball and football without a mask on, but they're asking you to wear a mask. They're asking you to get vaccinated. They're asking you to go in the store and stay 6 feet apart, but the basketball players didn't have to do that. But nobody questioned that. They're sweating, their liquids is everywhere. This is how you know that you're caught into a loop. And all they do is get you emotionally attached to whatever team. Okay, so in Philly, this is the Sixers, right? So you get emotionally attached to that. So then you argue with somebody that's a Bucks fan or a Lakers fan. So they keep you arguing over shit that don't mean nothing. The shit doesn't mean a thing. All right, the game ends, nothing moves on, right? And you don't get nothing from it. But you're constantly investing your energy into it. And that's how the system keeps going. It's like invisible columns. Your mind and what you project in your energy is the invisible column that's keeping the goddamn thing going. And if one day you realize that and just took your goddamn energy out of it, the damn columns will collapse. What's going on, Scotty? What's happening, man? Man, I'm loving that series, Momma Terra and the conscience of her children, man. It's awesome, man. I think it's like one of the best series ever done, personally. So what happens is that, what they do is they create these scenarios, and people don't want to believe this. So these so-called gods that people are praying to, right? These gods, they've created a matrix. And in this matrix, they can shift shit around. And in this matrix, they can put trauma in your life. And this is why you will see that most of the belief systems talk about you suffering. It talks about you going through trials. It talks about you going through sicknesses and trials. Why? Because this will keep you submissive. Traumas and things like that causes you to be submissive because you become weak. Your immune system gets weak. Your heart gets weak. Your soul gets weak. You feel vulnerable. And then they tell you now you got to submit to be safe. Now, the same ones who put you through it, because they tell you that these beings decree these things for you. Now, the same one who decreed it for you is not the same one that's going to save you from it. You see how it works? It's this. They show you this in how they do things. It's the problem, then the solution. Okay? It's the problem, then it's the solution. So, hold on one second. So they show you this. They say, all right, well, even though they're the ones who caused the problem, they now have the solution to your problem. So you just got to be careful with those types of things. All right, you got to be really, really careful. So what happens is, like I said, it's like the adjustment ball. Okay, and this is like a video game. And everything's a level. You have to level up. You have to get past the level. So, but as long as you feel traumatized, and you feel emotionally attached and you feel scared, you're always going to try to run to safety. And the real safety is you. So being that now you're waiting for something to happen, you're waiting for something to end, where the thing that can end it and the thing that's supposed to happen already happened. It's you. You already happened. But you believe that you have no power. So you stay inside these loops. And then you don't know why you're in the loop. The hamster probably doesn't even realize why he keep running on the goddamn hamster at some point. But you don't even realize why you keep spinning around. Because your emotions and your fear-based has been attached to things. And you're trying to pull yourself out of it. Or not. Or not. So you continue in these loops. You continue down this path. All right? And all you have to do is make a different decision. It's simple. Your own decisions, make them. But if you're making trauma-based decisions and you're making decisions based off fear, it's always going to be to somebody else's benefit. It's always going to be the decision that these elites or these beings in control want you to make. Okay? Because let me tell you something. Anything that's fear-based, anything that's causing you to feel as though you're submissive and you're scared and you're a child and you're weak and you're sinful and you're bad by origin is not something that's beneficial to you. That's a custodial belief system, meaning that it's a control mechanism, meaning they want to keep you in a custodial pen. They want to keep you wrangled and riled up with a lasso. And anything that wants to trap your energy, anything that wants to lasso you up, anything that wants to imprison your emotions, imprison your psychology, that's not it. That's not it. Because you don't know life outside of that. Anything that wants, and you look at some of these concepts and things that we have on the planet. This is this book that I'm reading. Matter of fact, I think I have it in the car. I just got finished reading it. Well, I think I'm almost finished reading it. This is the book right here, right? Consciousness and self-regulation, right? There's something that they talked about in this book that blew my damn mind. Most of the things that they're telling us, it has direct effects on parts of your brain that deal with submission and obedience. Why would anything want to create something that makes your parts of your brain that activated submission and obedience? Why would something wants to do that to you? Why would something want to make you obedient and submissive? Parts of your brain that controls your obedience and your submission. Certain words trigger that. Certain frequencies trigger that. Certain sounds trigger that. And you'll find these frequencies and sounds in almost every single belief system on the planet. And it triggers obedience and submission. And it triggers a childlike state. Why would something want to do that to you? The reason it wants to do that to you, because it wants to keep you in a loop. If you want to fall, you fall down, get a boo-boo, you call on master. You got a stomach ache, you call on master. You feel broken inside, you call on master. When the whole time you have the tool set to fix all of that yourself. But you've been trained to believe, and you've been put into a loop of a minority way of thinking and a childlike way of thinking and an immature way of thinking that you need something else to save you, and nothing's coming. Nothing's coming to help you. You got people waiting for the Anunnaki to return. Really? Again, the savior complex. Shit, they the ones that cause a lot of the problems on the planet. But you're waiting for them to come back to fix the problems? This is why we're in the loops we're in now. You're praying to these false gods, and these false gods tell you that you have to suffer and that they punish you, and that they kill your children to test you and all this other stuff they do. And then you got to turn around and beg them to help you with the thing they putting you through. That doesn't make sense. That's like me asking a robber after he robbed me to help me find the thing he stole from me. I mean, how does this make sense psychologically? And so we have to realize that this is all about being put in loops. I seen a video last night where the sky got turned off. The guy was recording it. It was blue, then it turned black. Showing you that the stuff is fake. It's a switch. They got us living in a cartoon, basically. And as long as you don't see it, you're going to be being controlled. Somebody got a remote control and they're controlling you. But when you pull the tube out, the string out, you're not caught on a string anymore. You're not being played like Geppetto's puppet, like Pinocchio. So remember that. Your emotions keep you in a loop. And this is why everything is emotional. Church is emotional. Most religions, they want you, there's things in it that make you cry and all this other stuff. Why? Because it wants to attach your emotions to it. Because your emotions are attached to something. It's hard for you to let it go. So things happen in your life. Bad things may happen, right? Children die or you know, whatever the case may be, right? Things happen, right? These beings, these are the ones that are putting these things in your life, right? And you don't know what's real or not. The Quran says that this life is an illusion. The Bible says the same thing. And many of the ancient civilizations said that most of the stuff that you're seeing is an illusion in front of you. It's a game being played. So, okay, things happen in your life. You see it. And then what happens is they want you to constantly go back to that thing in your mind. It keeps you from moving on. And as long as you're trapped, doesn't matter where your body is. If your mind and your soul and your spirit and your energy is trapped at that particular thing, that's where you are. And that's going to be your reality that you create. It's going to be based upon fear, depression, PTSD, bipolar. So what's going to happen is you're going to attract now things that energy attracts to you. Other people like that. That's going to bring more suffering to your life. Scenarios that are going to be dragged to you. Why? Because you're going to make decisions and you're going to see life according to your emotions. And you're going to find, all you're going to find is that scenario over and over again. That's the loop. That's the loop. Okay? That's the loop. Because whatever you do, you become. Whatever you eat. This is why they give you bad food. This is why they show you the stuff on television. They show you why, because they know in your mind they want to keep you in a loop. That's why they African American or black, all these are loops. These are emotional loops. Black has a characteristic. African American is a character. It's a loop character. Okay, they gave it characteristics. They created the word African American in 1988. They say you're African American now, and then rap got violent because they wanted to create a characteristic along with African American. Then along with creating a characteristic of a gangster and a thug, they came up with prison laws. They came up with 3 strikes you're out. All of these are systems. All of this is part of the character they want you to play. The loop they want you in. And you can back out of the loop. Just get out of it. Right? Figure it out. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go too long. Your emotions, you have to control them. That's where the control is. The control is how you feel. The control is your response to the things that they put inside your life. If you can control your responses and your emotions, they cannot control you. They can move things around in this matrix. They can put up illusions. But if you're vibrating high, gratitude, thankfulness, love, and you control. Oh, Ucha, Sean, what's going on, brother? Ucha. Man, we live in Philly, don't even see each other, man. I'm at to beat myself up for that, man. I might have to put you in the headlock too, man. You know, we gotta get together, man. We definitely gotta get together, man, and sit down and get some coffee or something together, man. We live in the same city. But, so basically, your emotions is the thing that's keeping you in a loop. For example, if you're tied to a woman, right, and she's not good for you, right, but your emotions is attached to her. Vice versa for a woman for a man. You'll go through the constant disrespect, abuse, and everything. And then you be like, man, I don't know why my life is going. No, your life is like that because your emotions is tied to that. And so she or he keep you going through the same emotional loop. And then what happens is that being that your emotions don't change, you'll find somebody else just like that person you just left. Why? Because your emotions attract. It's a magnet for the same scenario. This is how they control you. This is how they create the matrix. This is how they keep it going. Your emotions are too attached to this shit. And as long as your emotions are attached to it, they're going to keep on running the same goddamn simulation on you. And they know when you're not, they can't run the simulation on you no more. Because once they can't run it no more, and what they do is they try to mess with your money, or they try to create other things in your life. All right? These so-called gods now try to come in your life with this or that. They try to now get you off what you're doing back to emotionally attached to something. Money, worry, fear. They're going to keep trying. But what you have to understand is the shit is fake. It's not real. It's just bullshit. Take your heart out of it. See it for what it is and keep moving. Energy and motion. All emotions is energy that moves. It's supposed to move through your body. You're supposed to feel it and let it go. It's not supposed to sit there, because if it sits there, it creates what? Depression, PTSD, bipolar, all this stuff. And then when it creates all those chemical emotions turn into loops inside you. It turns into loops inside you. And so now psychologically you get into a loop. And now you start remembering all this bad shit. And so now that you remember all this bad shit in your mind, your heart and your mind now communicates these fucking feelings. And now these feelings turns into actions. That's all this shit does. And they know this. So now you don't went from the fucking the loop in your damn mind to the loop in your soul. And then the loop in your soul to the loops on your limbs. And then now you act all that shit out over and over and over and over and over again. It's a fucking game. It's a game. And all these goddamn gods, they all related, they all family. And they're bullshitting us. They put up a goddamn curtain. Check out the movie Free Guy. Check it out. They show you the fucking curtain. The elective motherfucking curtain they put up. And once you got past it, the world looks totally fucking different. It was this paradise. It's time to stop bullshitting. Okay? These fucking gods are playing fucking games with our emotions. And they know they can't really beat us. But as long as you're emotionally tied into their matrix, they're going to have you on your goddamn knees. And they're going to pound you and pound you and pound you. No, don't go this way. You gonna burn. Don't go that way. You're not gonna get rewarded. Don't go that way. You can't do this. You can't do that. They keep you inside of a fucking matrix, a box. Any type of outside thinking, any type of getting yourself together, any type of psychological movement, any type of emotional well-being, any type of progress, specifically inside your soul, is looked at as heretic. It's looked at as evil. This is why they hate everything about nature. If you say meditation, if you say nature, if you say anything like that, they automatically go into saying it's magic, saying it's this. They use these phrase words to scare you back in line. Oh, that's magic. Oh, that's worshiping nature. Oh, that's that. All of these is catchphrases to get your mind to trigger some type of response based upon fear. That's all it is. It's catchphrases. And they know that catchphrase is going to trigger something in here. And it triggers it if you're plugged in. So it triggers a fear, and it triggers a fear response. And you find yourself backing out of the thing that was saving your goddamn soul. But I'm here to tell you, fuck these guys. They don't have any power. They're bullshitting us. It's a script. It's all a script. And if you want to follow the script, follow it. Right? I'm going to see if I can bring the brother Get to the Root of It All on, man, and let him drop some science, man, because they only going to give me an hour.
Okay,
they only...
So thank you, Brother Christopher, for that. Check him out on Instagram, Traveling Bear 777, I think. So yeah, check brother out. Thank you, Brother Christopher, for that drop. Very powerful as usual. Okay. Nope. Let me try to shoot. I got to delete some of this stuff. Y'all, it's getting too much. Okay. All righty. Okay. Let me bring in Brother Sean and let me unmute everybody. Okay. Peace and love, Brother Sean.
Wholeness and power.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Good.
Family?
Huh?
I said family. How everybody doing?
Okay, I got to bring Scotty back in. And
peace and love.
Wholeness and power, bro.
What's up? Wholeness and power.
Peace and love, brother.
Wholeness and power, sis.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, sis. Go ahead.
I said wholeness and power to you, brother.
Okay, so before we get into the get up, did you have any go ahead on with the fuckery? I was hoping you showed up tonight. I know you've been traveling and kicking it. Good for you. But I was hoping you showed up because I kind of wanted you to show out. But you don't have to on my behalf. I'm just saying though.
Well, bruh, I want to talk about their president. I'm not sure if y'all went over it because they've been fucking with my laptop. I ain't been able to hear shit.
What?
The Wi-Fi out on my laptop, but not my TV or phone. It just keep going out on the laptop every time.
Move your files. If you got some files.
No, it just do it whenever I put on Truth Uncompromised.
Oh, okay. Well, okay then. I'm still telling you move your files though.
Okay. No, this is the first time it did it. As soon as I put it on the show.
We're just a little bitty channel. Why we getting checked like this on the regular? Like I went back to pull excerpts from that old video, and that Morris Donaldson video I said I was gonna pull for y'all this week. I went and pulled it, and I was gonna edit it and snip out some parts. It was the stuff on the Anunnaki, and all you heard was. I'm like, you got to be bullshitting me.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I remember when I was going back and
totally
the
through
whole stuff. Like, the whole video sound like some fucking frequency noise, whatever that was.
It's like, I'm like, and as soon as he came on and started going in, that's when it happened. So I'm sorry, but go ahead, Brother Sean. But that's why I'm saying move your files.
Okay. The disaster, or the theatrical disaster
Yeah.
in Afghanistan.
Oh,
that's funny.
Oh, theater.
Did you see them people hanging on the wheels and everything to try and get over here? Now just look at the desperation of motherfuckers to get here.
Yeah,
And
I thought, I was like, wait a minute, why are they trying to? I did. Yes, that part I did see. I just shook my head.
And the character of Biden gives no fucks about shit that happened. That nigga said that was days ago.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, the press interview he had, they was questioning him about it. And you know, he hit him with his, come on, man. You know, that was 4 days ago.
Baby, I can't. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What was the reporters asking him?
You know, about his response to that. You know, why did he withdraw the
He gonna
troops?
say that was days ago.
Yeah.
Like that matters.
Right. But the main point is, look at the desperation of people to get here. And y'all still unwilling to do what you're supposed to do for this place, for mama. They dying to get here. And y'all settling for just dying being here. Like the brother was just breaking it down about how they have no power. We've been telling y'all this.
Yep.
Hopefully it helps y'all hearing it from somebody else other than us. Because I know we may rub y'all raw sometime. But that's only when you're going against the truth or common sense.
Right.
That's when you get rubbed raw. We ain't doing it. We just telling it like it is, as far as we know.
Exactly.
But when do we matter?
Yep.
We concerned about everybody else. What, a few hundred of them died, maybe? If that many? And our people dying daily?
Exactly. That's one day over a holiday weekend in the hood, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But everybody's more concerned with what's going on everywhere else. And in none of these deals are you being acknowledged.
Exactly.
Period. I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, Tea Party, whatever fucking political affiliation you want to name. Ain't damn one got shit to do with you.
Right.
They don't mention you. It's a script. You have to be a character in the play. They got the role they want you to play. That's why they don't talk about who you really are. They don't give a fuck who you really are. They putting on a show despite who you are.
That's right.
Considering you refuse to be the quote unquote goddess, God that you are, then they gonna treat you like a piece of shit. Ain't that what you acting like, just laying there, stanking? Ain't that what the piece of shit do? Lay there and stink and become fertilizer? That's what y'all accept. But I digress. I have some more for you later.
All right then, but I'm gonna use that one. What you say, Biden? Say such and such so happened. Oh, tyranny. But that was days ago.
Come on, man.
I swear I'm gonna use that with stuff blowing up. But that was days ago. Hell to the no. Oh boy, I got a good kick out of that. That's funny as hell. He don't give a fuck, y'all. How you gonna be leader of the free world and they done set up here and asking you, Blood, what is you finna do about these people retaking this city that we done spent 20 years protecting? Them same people that took this city back over. But that was days ago.
Oh, come on, man. That was days ago.
Hell no, y'all. I'm done. Child, gotta love it. All right, y'all. Our guy.
That's just the ghetto part of
what you say?
That little Asian invasion. I said that's just a little ghetto part of the Asian invasion that's coming over here. Don't we laughing it off as a joke, but they gonna let them motherfuckers over here while people so-called dying from this and dying from the hoochie coochie and all this. But yeah, we dying because they gotta make room for these other motherfuckers to come over here.
They was coming without mask. Ain't none of them have no mask.
Right. Hanging on the outside.
Right. Ciao.
That's to scare people into getting stabbed.
Right. Exactly.
That's all that is. They that desperate for people to get stabbed. And people fall for it and go get stabbed. That's on them.
Right. Okay, so I put out a request for our dude, Sturgis, from Vibes of Cosmos to map out Lemuria like he did Atlantis. And he did. So I'm going to show this real quick. So shout out to Sturgis. Thank you so much, Sturgis. We truly appreciate all of your hard work. We truly, truly, truly do. So hold on, family. Let me get ready to bring this up. Okay, let me get this positioned. And then, I have to mute out his music. His music be pumping in his videos, too. He, in one of his videos, he played this song called Black Woman by this group called Soul. I think it's SEOUL. That song is tight, y'all. Check it out. Okay, so let me bring on So I recommend you all subscribing to his channel. He has great work. He was the one that broke down the moon map. He validated what the sun really is, what the moon really is, and recently even validated what that black sun is, what the atmosphere layers are made up of, and the dome. He has excellent body of work. So let's bring this on. We can't play any music, so you just no sound. So you're just gonna have to watch.
Okay. I put the link in the chat for anybody.
Hey, son Scotty. So yeah, y'all check him out. Subscribe to him. He's a pretty cool dude. Okay, so again, this is just a recap if this is your first time seeing it. This is the true landscape of planet Earth. Okay. So I think he just showed y'all Lemuria. Oops, the wrong mouse.
I have to come up now. Okay.
Okay. So y'all see how close that is. But he'll continue to break it down. Now he's pulling that from a map, and we've brought up that map before. So he's showing you all of the different animal life that was depicted on that map for this area. And the people. Okay.
Yeah, because ain't that where they say we get the lemur?
Yeah.
Lemur from there.
Yep, that's where they say the lemur, which is what, I don't know if it's in New Zealand. It's the lemur in New Zealand or Australia.
It's somewhere over there.
Huh?
Madagascar.
Oh, Madagascar. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Brother Caramel was showing how many wild species we had in America that we don't have anymore.
Yeah, so much stuff has been extinct. Oh, shoot. He was showing in one clip, y'all. Y'all gonna have to go back where somebody was fighting something.
Brasilia.
Yep, I peeped that too. I'm like, Brasilia, get out of here. Yep. Now this would be tripping me out too, y'all, if that wasn't enough. Oh, about to show it. Them distances though, y'all. Look at this crap.
Next door.
Yeah, right next to New Zealand, in the backyard of Russia.
Japan right there.
Yeah. So what's 1,000 kilometers from Russia? I guess how many miles is it? Was that 1,000? Was that 10,000?
1,000.
1,000. Okay. I mean, literally right in the backyard. Right in the, all of this extra territory. All of it. And they just showing us this.
I'm just getting the map you're talking about. Micronesia. Japan.
Mess is crazy. All right. So, oops, Sorry, I thought he was done. My bad. Okay. Right, so he's showing you the correlation to what we're calling the moon, which is just really a reflection of Earth. And if this is your first time getting all of this, you can check out his YouTube channel. He goes into a lot of depth. But I'm telling you, you're going to literally watch all of his videos. He does a very, very good job. Okay, so that's again, thank you to Vibes of Cosmos. That's his channel. Check out his vids, subscribe to him. It is well worth it. So thank you so much, Sturgis, for breaking that down for us. It's truly appreciated. Your work is appreciated. Okay, child, I did have something else. Hold on, y'all. Y'all finna to see the screen black again because I got to bring something else up for y'all. So the next thing I want to bring up for y'all, I got this from Traveling Bear. This sister, damn, I did have something else for y'all. I'll do it after this video since I done started talking about it. I got this from Brother Traveling Bear, i.e. Christopher, sent this to me. And this sister is talking about the Anunnaki and the Bible, okay? Which, of course, we did this years ago when we broke it down with Brother Wendell on the creation story myths. We spent the year on that, and we're giving you it again now, but except we're not going verse by verse in the Bible, okay? But she's going to give you an overview. She did an excellent job. I don't know too many people that do this. Matter of fact, I think she's only the second person. So that makes her and I like the two people that I know of that has broken this down like this. And she's not doing videos anymore. This was a few years ago. So I'm wishing the sister well. Hope all is well with her. So hold on a second, fam. All right, let me bring her back on. You can see her YouTube channel. She only had a couple of videos, as a matter of fact. Ascended Light. You can see she has this was back in 2017. Like I said, she didn't do a lot of videos, and I wish she had, because she's a hell of a researcher. She's hard hitting. But here we go.
Hi. In Psalm 82:1, the Bible tells us something that is a detail that I think is tantamount to us understanding the bigger picture of what really happened historically that the Bible does not elaborate upon. And also the Bible being the most recent of texts, what is further down in the root of the tree that gives us more elaboration on what the verses of the Bible, some of them that just make a mention of something without elaborating. How can we find out the totality of its meaning and its significance? Well, in the book of Psalm chapter 82, verse 1, it gives us a detail that will enable us to understand what I spoke about before in my previous video, about the Sumerians and how they wrote of different texts much older than the Bible. That is the elaboration of Genesis. That is actually the original story of the book of Genesis. The Sumerians give details there that are the explanation to scriptures that are given in the Bible that are just alluded to. And as we go further, we will see that the connection that the Sumerians give enable us to see the bigger picture and also help us to realize that the Bible, being the baby, cannot be the quintessential truth as it claims itself to be, nor as it claims to be the authority can it be the authority, since it is at the top of the tree rather than the root. The Sumerians give that elaboration. They are the missing link and the root to us understanding where all of these religions have gotten their belief systems from, their judgments and their condemnations. Psalm 82:1, there it says, God, the YHWH of the Bible, presides in the great assembly. He renders judgment among the gods. G-O-D-S, with an S at the end, plural. Why gods? Especially if the Bible throughout it speaks of a monotheistic God who is jealous, who says that there is no other God beside him. If you take that scripture and you compare it to the one that I just read in this God's same book, that he judges among the gods, then we have a problem. We have a contradiction. So let's see if we can find out the answer to the contradiction that is much older than what the Bible just gives us the information to, as far as just alluding to something rather than building upon it. Why is it that the understanding of the gods has never been in the forefront of a believer's mind? Because we haven't gone to the root. We have not gone to the testifiers and the missing link of Sumeria, who give us the Genesis, who give us the Bible in more detail, much older than Scripture that claims its authority. Psalm 82:1 tells us a detail that is extremely essential, because it is plural gods rather than just the God, the YHWH. So therefore, Psalm 82:1 contradicts the scriptures that says that the God of the Bible is the only one. If we go to Sumeria also, just like Psalm 82:1, he sits in the congregation and judges amongst the gods. The Sumerians tell us that the gods of the Anunnaki, which I spoke of before, the origin of the book of Genesis, the gods of the Anunnaki, the Sumerians say, they too sit on the council of the gods. And guess what else they tell us? That there they make decisions, they make rules, they make laws that they must abide upon. And in fact, the Torah, if we break down the Torah, much of the Torah come from the council of the gods of the Anunnaki that the Sumerians speak of. Who are these council? And do the Sumerians break down the specific names of these gods that the Bible God of Psalm 82:1 just alludes to? You see, the Sumerians give us the detail that is essential for us to understand why this word has an S at the end. Or why in the book of Genesis, chapter 126, it says, let us make man in our image. And if you watch my video before this, you will see that they made Adam in the book of Genesis. And the Sumerians tell that Adamu was made by these gods, this council of gods. Well, who do the Sumerians tell us are the council of gods of the Anunnaki? The Sumerians tell us, in the tales much older than the Bible, that there was a god at the council of gods of the Anunnaki that was essentially voted into office. He was serving a term, just like our United States presidents serve a term. And when he served a term, his children would then serve after him because there were rights of ascendancy, just like the Bible patriarchs honor their sons, so did the Anunnaki. The one that was voted into office after someone was essentially taken out of office, when you read the Sumerian text, was Anu. A-N-U. In fact, not only was his name Anu, but he was also referred to in these texts as the Most High. Sounds familiar. Sounds like Psalms 83:18, where the God of the Bible says that he, Jehovah, is the Most High over all the earth. Well, Anu was considered and labeled the Most High because he won the right to office. He won the right to his rule for his time period because they took over time periods. And this is Anu, the father. Now Anu, according to these records, had children. And the two very prime characters of these children were warring brothers. One on the left and one on the right. And they battled each other because they wanted to take over the Most High's rule and essentially become the Most High. So this is why the gods of Psalm 82:1 sat on councils just like the Anunnaki, because they were deciding who would rule. And they made the rules. And the rule was that a son, not of a concubine, would take rulership. So Anu has two sons. One is called Enlil, E-N-L-I-L. The other son is called Enki, E-N-K-I. Now, because these gods battled, we see the battle going on in the book of Genesis that does not elaborate upon the stories, but just alludes to stories. In fact, these two brothers, let me zoom in. In fact, these two brothers, Enlil and Enki, battled so much that when you hear in Genesis chapter 11 that the God wanted to destroy the earth because the people were so unruly, this is the god Enlil that did it, according to the Sumerian texts that elaborate upon the Genesis 11 story. Not only that, but the flood as well. And so Enlil wanted to destroy everyone, and his brother Enki did not. And in fact, when the God of the Bible says, after he decided to destroy people, when he says that he regretted that thought, guess who was the one that was being spoken about? You see, Enlil gave the edict at the Council of Gods to destroy humanity, and Enki regretted it because he did not want humanity to be destroyed. That does not make him a better God, but he had a little more compassion for humanity that they had created in their image in the book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. So you have these warring brothers, Enlil and Enki. The Sumerian text, much older than the Bible, in the root tells us. And now we understand the war and the battle going on between Lucifer and the God of the Bible in the Bible. You see, these are the two brothers that fought. Not only them, but interchangeably, other gods became rivals in these ancient texts. So Enlil was YHWH, and Enki became Satan. And these are the warring brothers that we read of in the scripture. As we go on, they also had children that also became wars, became nemesis with one another, because they had rights of ascendancy. So their children desired to take over their rulership once their rulership was given up. Enki as well. Enlil had Nannar, his son. And Nannar, as I go on in my book, The Age of I Know Unmasking the Magicians, has a very important role in this entire battle. He was a god over something. He also had other children. There was a battle that went on between Enki's two sons. In fact, Enki had a son named Nigizida. He also had a son named Marduk. And Marduk wanted to take over rulership. And there was a battle between all of these gods. And this is why in the scriptures, in the book of Genesis, we see the wars going on. We see Abraham involved in wars right away when we read about his story. And these are the wars that the Council of Gods oversaw. These are the battles that went on between what the Bible deems good and evil. Brother against brother. Enlil against Enki. Yahweh or YHWH against Enki, Satan. This is what the Sumerian texts tell us was actually going on. This is the elaboration of the scripture that you read that leaves blanks within you because you don't understand what was really going on and you don't have enough detail. And this is the detail. Psalm 82 verse 1, the counsel of gods is a Sumerian story written and taken, the Bible took it. Counsel of gods are the Anunnaki, and these are their children. A very small amount that I shared today, but as time goes on, I'm going to give you more. I'm going to speak of the Nana, I'm going to speak of the Muzi, and I'm going to speak of their terms and rights of ascendancy, and how that worked with the patriarchal system that, like the Torah, the Anunnaki and the Council of the Gods instituted. So stay tuned. There's a lot more coming up. And I hope that you're making the connections. Because without this, you stay lost in the Bible that claims authority. Take care.
All right. That sister did an excellent job. I'm going to try to find her book. She doesn't have many videos. The YouTube channel is Ascended Light. And this one is the Bible and the Anunnaki. So shout out to her. I'm definitely going to try to find her book. I do have another video of hers I want to play. If we'll probably just do it tonight because shoot, we at almost 9 o'clock now, y'all.
Makes sense.
Uh-huh.
His son name was Sin. Sin, ain't that the moon god?
Say that again.
And Leo's son name was Sin, aka Sin. Sin is the moon god.
Like simulation, S-I-M?
Sin, S-I-N. That's what
Ah.
she wrote up on the board. Sin is the moon god. I'm just wondering if during the time that he came on the scene, is that when the moon got up there? Because the ancestors spoke of a time that the moon wasn't there. And since Sin was the moon god, I mean, according to their story.
It's probably levels of their terraforming, because you know she was talking about the hierarchy and ascendancy of power and shit, and so they all just tracking their wars and shit. But I think also they trying to prove themselves, like to conquer. You know, here they like, oh yeah, we got in the black sun now. Okay, yeah, we put in a dome now. Okay, yeah, now we got these like a sun and a moon that can like control time. Now we control them this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's where I was. That's why I'm sitting here thinking, because that's the way I'm thinking about it.
Is that what caused the reflection to happen in the first place? And then he's governing, or the god of that, which they were using to cause us to reincarnate, to stay in the loop.
Right, but I mean, we know what's causing that reflection.
Mm-hmm. But is it the terraforming which caused that reflection to be there, considering the ancestors spoke of a time it wasn't there?
Yep. Damn, that's an excellent point. So let's back that up, because I know if I had to struggle through it, I know the family did. Because what you're saying, and just jump in and stop me if I'm messing it up. What you're saying is the ancestors said there was a time when the moon did not exist, right?
Right.
And you're saying that whose son was named Sin? Was that Enki or Enlil's?
Enlil.
Okay, Enlil's. Enlil's son name is Sin, which means moon.
Saying it's the moon god. If you look it up, it
Okay,
say the
it's the
moon
moon
god.
god. So actually, we know then, well, that don't necessarily mean that's when that moon was put in place. But what I'm getting out of what you're saying is that the technology itself, the terraforming, really it has a lot to do with. It is a part of the loop and reincarnation as well.
Mm-hmm.
Memory loss.
Yeah.
It also sets.
Yeah, because I was reading something that was saying that part of the construction of the black sun, because something in the word Anunnaki is connected to like Saturn or something like that. And, you know, like the moon, and we talk about sin and the controlling of time, and like somehow like that the material or whatever's creating that coil, that black sun, is connected to that I don't know what we call it, planet, region, that dimension, that realm, which is connected to it creates the sun, the moon. So it's a time, like it's like the pieces to create the timepiece are coming from this realm from which they came.
Say that again. I'm trying to digest that. Say that
Like
again.
the pieces, so like the black sun and the sun that it creates and the moon that it creates. And we saying this is like it's basically like the pieces of a watch or a clock. So it's a timepiece, it's keeping the time. And so something I was reading was saying that the name Anunnaki means like from Saturn, to come forth from Saturn or something like that. So I'm saying like how they also say that the moon in connection to creating time and the loop and the reincarnation, it's also connected to time. So these timepieces, these materials are coming from wherever they came from, is what I'm saying. So like, because the time is not, you know, natural to here. And we obviously identified these pieces on our realm as being terraformed. And so unless they took materials from our own realm to create these terraformed things, which I would think they only could do that probably with the dome, but the other parts, the black sun, which is why all the religions, you know, the Kaaba stone, they connect the black sun to Saturn, to Saturn, to Saturn. So I'm just trying to make these connections. I'm like, they bring in these like pieces, like they bring in like basically the hardware to build the matrix computer or whatnot from this other realm here. And so like all of that shit is artificial. The sun, the black sun is artificial.
Exactly.
And I mean,
exactly.
The things that it creates, it's all like the timepieces.
Exactly. Right. Damn, you took a long time to get to that because I was just about to.
Sorry, because I was trying to figure it out myself too as I was saying it.
I was letting you work it out in your head. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to summarize it if he don't say exactly. It's technology, people.
That is.
Folks have looked to these deities as gods, and it's just technology.
Did you remember that Enlil set the life cycle time of man to 70 years?
Where are you getting that from? I'm not doubting it. I just need a source.
It came from the book of Enki. Because he was really mad and destroyed them first because they were partying. Remember, he set that nuke because they were partying and wouldn't let him sleep. And then he cursed them for 70 to have 70 years worth of life, period.
Okay, versus the 100 and something they were living before.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know that Bible better than I do. Didn't they say somewhere in the Bible that God said he was not going to be with man as long as he's been? And that was supposed to equate to people weren't going to live hundreds of years?
He said he was
120 years.
Okay, 120 years. Okay.
Yeah, so they put their timepiece up there on Enlil's, orders so people can get psychological.
Damn good point.
Induced to think that when I get 70, I'm done. But remember, I think I've mentioned this before. We psychologically put ourselves on their clock.
Right. Right. Because it's like I said before, and I know me and y'all gonna go la 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 when I talk about periods. We already broke it down. It is your electromagnetic field. That's the scientific part of it. In the spiritual community, they say your energy field or your Merkaba. But your natural electromagnetic field or your Merkaba or your energy field is tethered to that black sun, which is an electromagnetic coil. That's how you are tied to the time. And then in addition to that, your consciousness with the indoctrination giving you their concept of time. So it's twofold. The terraforming part of it is having your electromagnetic field being drawn to the electromagnetic coil / black sun. Plus your consciousness taking on the ideology of what time is. So it's twofold.
I bet they thought they was really doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they thought they was really doing it once they got the sun and the moon and it was like day and light. Because, that's like the main thing like people hear a quote from the Bible. Even if you don't know about that, you're like, oh, yeah. He said, let there be light. Because that really just trap you into like, oh, light. Now I'm supposed to be up and it's day. And now I'm supposed to lay down and rest or something like that. Because I'll just be like, the times before that when it wasn't no like, whoever constructed that little piece, they probably got a promotion.
Right, because remember, old girl in Path to Orion, Earthly Peace and Justice, when she talked about the war that broke out and they had to repair it, that's when that whole concept of let there be light and all of that bullshit took place. Because that Bible creation story represents the creation story of the Anunnaki. That's why you have to go to multiple sources instead of the Bible. The Bible is not the oldest book. We keep telling y'all that Sumerian text is where the Bible took stuff from. So all of them other authors like Stitchin and et cetera, and even Stitchin, he misinterpreted work. Some say that he was a high-ranking Mason and he intentionally messed up some stuff. But I do know that Stitchin rocked for the Anunnaki based on the way he wrote stuff. But he still did a pretty decent job in correlating what that Sumerian text was saying. But he's not the only source. But all you have to do is look at those different sources that talk about the Sumerian text and that translate the Sumerian text and line it up with the Bible and get the book of Enoch. All the shit lines up. And get the Torah. It all lines up. And the Sumerian text tells you who those beings are, who was doing what. But yeah, all of it was terraforming. That whole creation story was about terraforming. The planet was already here.
Mm-hmm.
And according to Orion, and I'm gonna rock with her, there were people already on the planet prior to the invasion from these beings. Hence why there are separate bloodlines. So somebody in the chat asked, so what are we? I can't tell you what you are. You have to know who you are. Every week I have to get up and tell y'all it is your responsibility to know who you are. These are separate bloodlines. Some of your bloodlines may tie to the biblical bloodline. Some of your bloodlines may tie to that. You have to go within and find out if that's truth or not to you. So the shit is pretty deep. Because first we're talking about doing your genealogy, which folks don't even want to do that. Oh, they told me I'm from Africa. Okay, well, goddammit, I'm from Africa. Folks don't even want to do that. They don't even want to dig in the records or listen to what Big Mama and them say and even do that. So once you get that down and really start doing some serious reflection on your own, then you can start digging into some of the other stuff and opening up. But I can't tell you who you are.
Hey, sis.
Yes, sir.
But that's where the conscious community, so-called conscious community, gets caught up at. And they sitting there pointing their fingers at the quote-unquote religious people. But you're worshiping the same deity by a different name.
Yep.
Now they figuring that they all off into esoteric knowledge, this, that, or the other, because they're able to put these pieces together and find out that this person was that person. And then they assume the names and actually want to be that deity. And they worship goes to a whole nother level.
Yep.
And they think that they didn't shook the system, but you're just off in a whole nother space. That's it. But you worshiping the same being. And obviously they put the information out. You didn't miraculously come across something that they didn't intend for you to come across.
Right.
But they lose sight of self in that. Or maybe that is their true calling, that is in their DNA, and they're receiving their awakening. And we're just not accepting that.
Right.
They're openly admitting that there are enemies, and they're trying to, within the patriarchal system, ascend the throne as their ancestors previously had.
Yep.
Whether it be through war, deception, whatever.
Yep.
That's why they give no fucks about what they do to people, what they take from people, because to them, it's their birthright. We talk about our birthrights, but their birthrights are unnatural to us. But it's what they do. I digress.
Yeah, no, excellent point. Because we know in the quote non-conscious community, because they far from being aware. And it's understandable because when you're coming out of religion, you go through stages. I went through the stages my damn self. So I'm not trying to sit up here by any means and act like I'm all that in a bag of chips. We all go through these stages. But that's why it's important for your journey to be self. That you're supposed to still be self-taught and self-studied. And not depend on one person or one thing for your source of information. Okay? But the point I'm trying to make, those that's all into the Egyptian, it's still the same Anunnaki gods in them. That's their people shit. And that's cool if you feel that you part of that bloodline and all of that. But they are the invaders. They are the conquerors. They set themselves up for rulership over something that does not belong to them nor their bloodline. And I'm sorry, I can't get past that. I'm not letting that shit go. And the fucked up part about it, people out here swinging on folks for Jesus, for Yahweh, for Jehovah, for Allah. Then if you get a little bit of knowledge and you thinking you the shit, they want to swing on you for Ra and all of that, thought, all of that. Then if you get a little bit more knowledge, they want to swing on you for Anu, Inky Binky them. When all of those folks were appointed into those positions, even who they're calling the most high of high, which is Anu, was appointed that fucking position.
All right, y'all really out here worshiping Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And who's to say that the original Anu is even still in existence? It's probably another Anu hole in the motherfucking position. And people really out here swinging on folks, getting a motherfucking attitude.
Well,
So-
if you take politics, they sit up there and they call each other honorable. It's the same type bullshit.
Exactly.
That's their descendants. That's their seed too. I mean, it's just toned down because they know that they can't be at that level of quote unquote gods. They can't do that shit no more. So they have to keep drawing on the stories of Anu and Inky and them.
Exactly.
They couldn't be here forever, even if they wanted to. But as we heard, those were positions that they were appointed. They had terms.
By the who? By the council.
By their council. So, I mean, that just goes to show you right there that them motherfuckers wasn't as eternal or as immortal as they pretend to be. Because the Draconians was kicking their ass for thousands of years.
Right.
So, I mean, they was getting their ass kicked a long time before the mothers decided to help them out. They had
Right, by now, we should know we dealing with the bottom rung of these motherfucking conquerors. They've been fucking up for so long. They ain't got this shit right. And they still getting their ass kicked. They still trying.
It's only by consent.
They ain't as advanced as they claim to be. If these other galactic beings is fucking them up for eons or whatever, however they measure time, whatever the fuck may be. But like, yeah, these even we think is so majestic, the terraforming, and the religions then painted it all. They gave us the sun and the night and the stars and look at it and they romanticize your own oppression and entrapment and have you worshiping your own oppressors. And
exactly.
that's the fucked part about it.
Yeah, it's very sick, because even if we want to keep it simple, even if you want to take out, oh, it's just too much. Oh, it's too much. What do you mean? The sun is coming from an electromagnetic coil, and it's a reflection, and so is the moon, and what the moon is really showing is it's really the map of the larger earth. Oh, it's too much. Even if you don't want to believe any of that, let's just take your simple Bible. Didn't that God in that Bible tell people to go take other indigenous people's land? I'll wait.
And so you got the ones that just blindly follow that and give it a pass. Oh, no, that's not my Lord. And then you got the ones that really believe that shit. And they like, yeah, that's why we still taking land today and doing rituals and sacrifices, because we legit believe this.
Right, because we're owed that. But even common sense. Wait a minute. Why would you have to tell your people to go take some shit that you motherfucking allegedly created, nigga? If you created it, supposedly and allegedly, you created all this shit, right? So now, blood, why would you have to tell your people to go take some other people's shit?
I mean, couldn't he just snap his fingers or something and everybody switch places?
They never should have been over there in the first motherfucking place, right?
Right. I'm just saying, though.
You're right.
But
You're
they
right.
nothing.
The benefit of the doubt.
They nothing without this technology that they done gathered from other beings. They nothing without that technology. That's why they not really advanced beings. They just collected technology.
But couldn't he have thought out a spot in Antarctica or someplace for them?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. They just thawed them out a nice little spot and just poofed them there, instead of them having to go for 40 days and 40 nights or however many years. Was it 40 years in the wilderness?
Yeah, it was 40 years, because Jesus was 40 days and 40 nights.
Right. So I guess they had to prove themselves. They had to kill a certain amount of people, this, that, or the other, quench his bloodthirst.
Got to feed them motherfucking gods.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it just seemed like if he was just all that loving, he'd have just poofed them there and nobody would have had to die or none of that stuff. None of his people.
Right, because they shouldn't have been over there in the first place. I mean, you're the Lord. You're the Lord. So why are they even over there? That's like you coming to the crib, or your mama come to the crib, and somebody else is in the crib. Well, how the fuck they get over here?
That is funny though. You created them there.
Yeah.
Which should be their homeland, their birthright. And you let them get ran from up out of there to come take somebody else's stuff and kill and slaughter all along the way for 40 years. They killing and conquering.
Exactly. And that is why I say the Bible is the blueprint for colonization. They are the first colonizers. So now, if that's a part of your bloodline, let that be a part of your bloodline. Your bloodline are some colonizing, murderous motherfuckers. See, what you not gonna do over here is sugarcoat it. And I'm not even lying on the people. That's what they said in your Lord's book. And that's acceptable to y'all? That's acceptable? And I'm supposed to be following that because of what? Oh, okay then. Child, all right. All right, so, as usual, I was chilling, minding my business. I was actually doing something, and I had the TV on in the background, and Black Panther came on. It was already on. It was in progress. So I just let it play in the background. So as things happen, guess what I noticed?
What?
Okay, let me see when it's going to come up for y'all. It should be coming up in a few. Do. Hopefully, come on, YouTube. It should have kicked over for y'all.
Sitting on the cliff of the tree.
Exactly. What's this?
An ancient tree.
Uh-huh. Show the next picture. See when it comes up for y'all. So, what's the mineral they say that was so precious in Black Panther?
Vibranium.
Uh-huh. And where was that vibranium located?
In an ancient tree.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that vibranium used for?
Weapons and defense.
All types of technology.
Technology.
Everything.
Exactly.
Like
the
in
levitating train, everything.
And what you call them? Avatar, the unobtainium. That's what the little element was called there that they had came there to get, the unobtainium. You couldn't obtain it. It was the unobtainium material, metal.
and weren't they, didn't they have to get that by tearing down that ancient tree?
Yep.
The mother tree.
The mother tree. So now, let me switch this to this right quick.
Which we know was like a motherboard. It was connected through the root system, the silicon. It was all like connected. So that's why they take the mother out. You can take the rest of them out.
Which is why when I did the podcast on they are terraforming the West, and I showed y'all the Colorado River area. I showed you all the ancient trees, and I showed you all the main tree that they cut down. I'm glad you said that, son, Scotty. That's the mother tree. That's the main tree that they cut down. And they start excavating the roots, like I told y'all, which are those minerals. And then the other trees connected to that mother tree die off. So now, some of y'all knew this. For those of you that don't, dang, y'all, I'm itching, my doggone allergies acting up. Wakanda is not African. Okay? Nope. They put this shit in our face in plain sight. Native American legend, Wakanda. Tribal affiliation. Y'all see that, right? Here's even the alternate spelling. And they're saying that it's like, it means high God. And it's saying for the other tribes, Wakanda, the Sioux. So they're even giving you different indigenous tribes. So now, I don't find that coincidental.
You know that Bale said that some of the indigenous, so-called indigenous civilized tribes are really not indigenous. When he was doing...
Oh, absolutely. We all know that. Absolutely. Because we know when they formed the civilized tribes. Absolutely. He's absolutely correct. Okay, so...
And then also on a production level, they filmed a lot of that movie in South America, in locations in South America, Central America.
Yep. Absolutely, they did.
And beyond just in Atlanta, which is what they filmed in the second one.
You know, when Atlanta
right
they filmed it, sure did. So now I don't know about
all in the Americas.
Exactly. That's not a coincidence to me. But I'm sure to get the movie made, they had to make it over in Africa, right? So you have the panther mythology. Panthers play a variety of different roles in the Native American mythology. In some Western tribes, seeing a panther or hearing its screams is an evil omen, and panthers are often associated with witchcraft. On the other hand, among Eastern tribes such as the Seminole and Swanee, panthers were considered noble animals with power hunting medicine, and the panther is one of the major clan animals. In the legend of these tribes, panthers sometimes features as a leader warrior of the animal people, and among the Pueblo tribes, mountain lion is believed to have powerful hunting medicine and considered one of the 6 directional guardians representing the north and the color yellow. Several Pueblos had cougar societies, and Zoomer hunters kept stone panther fetishes for protection, ascribing them to both healing and hunting powers. In South America, so didn't you say, Son Scotty, they filmed a lot of this in South America?
Yep.
In South America, panthers were associated with wealth and the earth by the Inca people. And many, whatever that is, Kuasha, still consider it lucky to catch the sight of a panther today. Tribes with panther clans include the Cree, whose tiger or panther clan is named whatever that is, and that. The Chippewa, whose panther clan is totem called whatever that is. The Chickasaw, the Caddo, and the Osage, and the Shawnee, and the Pueblo of New Mexico. Did y'all see Africa anywhere in here?
No, ma'am.
So let me just run this by y'all one more time.
Because if you ever looked at Curameo's videos, he done gave so many breakdowns of the animals that and all the wildlife and greenery plants that then started from America and then went out of America to other places. It's not like oh, we got this from Africa, we got this from Asia. It's like, no, they were getting it from here.
Absolutely. Shout out to Brother Cooley Mayo.
That's wonderful.
So again, scene from Black Panther when Wes's face, Killmonger, and Black Panther, ancient tree, all day long. All day long. Ancient tree. So the source of that vibranium was really the root, one of the root systems from the ancient tree, which all of their technology was based on. So that was the weapons, the levitation, the healing. Matter of fact, ain't that how the Black Panther himself got his power? He had to drink it. They had to crush it up. And he had to drink it.
Yep.
But Wakanda is American. That's an American name, coming from indigenous tribes. Panther is represented throughout indigenous tribes. So you can't convince me that this movie was not about the indigenous people. But what tripped me out, now I knew all of that part, and probably some of you in here knew that also, okay? Because shout out to the indigenous Indians. When this movie came out, they were on it. They broke it down. They caught it. They're like, oh, no. That's not African. That's from the Americas. Wakanda is an American name. Okay? But then, re-looking at it again, and like I said, I wasn't even paying attention. I just had it in the background. And I saw that come up. I said, oh, wait a minute. That's an ancient, oh, hell no. That's an ancient tree. So the same thing we're explaining to you all now. They keep putting it in your face over and over and over and over again. Okay? All right. Okay. So, child, I know we be having a lot to go through. Okay. Let me make sure that I get through all of my stuff I needed to get through. Yeah, I think I did. We'll get through.
Thought you had one more video.
Oh, I do, by the Sister Ascended Light. Okay, yeah, I know we got so much tonight. And I can't do no another 6 hours tonight, y'all, because I got something to do tomorrow. I was tore up from the flow up last week on Friday. I'm like, oh, I can't do another 6 hours.
Right.
So we ended on time tonight. Yes, I do have another video. So let me, I'm just going to go ahead on and play it. Hold on, though. I got to switch back over to technology. So, okay. So again, this is from the Sister Ascended Light, and this is the Abrahamic conspiracy. So again, shout out to Traveling Bear 777, Brother Christopher, for dropping this information for us. So here we go.
Humans have been obsessed with the ideas of gods and higher beings intervening with how they came to be for as long as we can tell. Even the earliest recorded human civilizations in history had in-depth religions, as well as governing systems, numbers, letters, drawings, and the ability to create massive monuments aligning perfectly with the stars in the sky. Just a few examples of these civilizations are the Sumerians, Aztecs, Incas, Mayans, Hebrews, Phoenicians, Canaanites, Babylonians, and Egyptians. The Sumerians in particular even had tablets describing in detail the planets in our solar system and the orbits around our sun that they take. There was also great evidence showing that they studied stars extensively, and also understood the precession of the equinox on Earth, which determined the 4 seasons as well as which constellation the sun would appear to rise with in correlation to what month it was. Please note that this video does not reflect my beliefs at all. I'm simply giving facts about how religion came to be. The truth of the matter is that if you worship a god today that is widely known and personified as a deity, you probably worship a Sumerian god. The Sumerians had multiple gods, many of which they shared with Canaanites, Babylonians, and Hebrews. Before we go any further though, we need to look into the Torah, the earliest version of the Hebrew Bible we have record of, and differentiate it from what you may find in a modern Bible at your everyday church. There is archaeological evidence of the Bible being changed many times throughout history to support certain agendas of religious or political leaders. But you don't have to dig too deeply to see this. Just look at the differences in the King James Version of the Bible compared to the Torah, or even the King James Version compared to the New International Version for that matter. What led our historians to find the polytheistic nature of Christianity was the usage of the names of God in the Torah and their Hebrew meanings. Before Moses' time, God was sometimes referred to as the Elohim, which is a plural word for El or Eloah and simply means gods. This is what the Bible is referring to when it mentions sons of God or hosts of heaven. God even refers to himself as us in Genesis after Adam and Eve sinned against the Elohim, as well as other places in the modern Bible. This is because Elohim was originally a word describing a pantheon of Hebrew gods, a few being Adonai, Yahweh, Asherah, Yahweh's consort, and the father of all gods, known as both El Shaddai and El Elyon. The modern English translation simply replaces these terms with God God, God Almighty, etc., and claims all the terms as synonymous or being of the same meaning. This is simply not true. Abraham and his family were factually pagan, and served amongst the same gods as the Canaanites and Sumerians. Anytime the word God is used in the Bible, it could be referring to the Sumerian Enlil, Enki, Ninurta, Marduk, or even the gods some Hebrews knew as Ahaya, Asher, Ahaya. Elohim simply refers to all of the ancient gods. The Torah tells us that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob eventually all showed devotion in particular to the father god, El Elyon. This is important because it is also where we find our connection with previous religions, as the Sumerians knew this god as Enlil, the storm god. Enlil was soon being called El or Elul by the Babylonians. The Canaanites even knew this god by the same name as the Hebrews, El Elyon. The name El is a very important title when discussing ancient Semitic languages.
Okay, so, all you Moors with that L, continue, gentlemen.
Even though the term El or El Elyon by itself has been mostly removed in English Bibles, we still find it almost everywhere in Scripture as an important suffix representing godliness in terms such as Emmanuel, Ishmael, Israel, Ezekiel, Daniel, Bethel, Raphael, Michael, and Gabriel. This is even where the term angel comes from. Another interesting secret about El being used in ancient Semitic languages lies with the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians spoke a language now known as Paleo-Hebrew, and worshipped a pantheon of gods which were mostly personified planets in our solar system. The farthest planet visible to the naked eye is Saturn, which is why the Phoenicians worshipped Saturn as their most high god, since to them it was the most high planet. Of course, the word Saturn didn't come about until much later, so the Phoenician name for this god was none other than El. This inevitably led some historians to correlate the Hebrew El Elyon with Saturn as well, since both cultures spoke the same language, and the fact that El Elyon was known as God Most High. Ninurta, a son of Enlil, was historically representative of Saturn as well, and is in some cases referred to as the offspring of Saturn. Still, most mainstream theologians dismiss the idea of the Phoenician god El being the same father god of the Hebrews and Canaanites. At any rate, this title has made its rounds in nearly every ancient religion, which may be a clue as to why this particular name of the God of Abraham is rarely mentioned anymore. It is a general belief in Judaism and Christianity that fallen angels descended from heaven and took human wives, thus introducing a new offspring of giants called the Nephilim. What's interesting is that the Bible never mentions fallen angels. The beings that were said to have done this were only referred to as the sons of God and the host of heaven, which are none other than the Elohim. It's also important to acknowledge that the plural word Elohim is translated to God more than any other word in the original Hebrew Bible besides Yahweh, and is the same word used to describe supposed false gods as well. This is a red flag indicating the agenda of hiding information. One of Zechariah Sitchin's books, The Lost Book of Enki, is a book containing English translations of the Sumerian tablets, along with the evidence supporting what Sumerians of ancient Mesopotamia believed. These tablets predate the Bible by thousands of years, yet parallel our familiar westernized biblical stories in many ways. I highly recommend reading the works of Sitchin while comparing his books to the official online translations of Sumerian tablets published by the University of Oxford. It should also be noted that Zechariah Sitchin did not translate these tablets with 100% accuracy, since he connected information that was otherwise deemed as inconsistent to support an interesting theory of extraterrestrial influence. The most accurate information pertaining to these tablets lies within the correlating aspects of all researchers. So, since many debunkers have exposed holes within Sitchin's 12th planet theory, we won't include it here as factual evidence. However, all theories aside, Sitchin's work is phenomenal in the area of translating cuneiform texts explaining correlating mythologies of ancient religions. Sitchin's books, as well as consistent findings by other researchers, proves that the Sumerians originally worshipped two creator gods in particular, Anu and his two sons Enki and Enlil. Keep in mind that Enki and Enlil are the same gods in Babylonian mythology known as Ea and Elo. According to the Sumerians, these gods came from the heavens and created human beings to be a slave race. The tablets also heavily indicate that Enki took DNA from a highly evolved ape species, the Homo erectus, and merged it with his DNA to create Adam and Eve, but Anu appointed Enlil to be the god of the earth instead. Enki and Enlil form a rivalry because of this, and in protest to the gods, Enki upgraded humanity once more with the ability to create life and use free will. This is when Abel was born. Enki also mated with humans, as did other gods like eventually Enlil and Marduk. This is what the Bible meant when it said that the sons of God came into the daughters of man and they bore children of them. Enki's brother Enlil was furious at first that humans were granted such power and knowledge, which caused him to expel humans from the Garden of Eden. If you think the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, and Noah all came from the Bible, you've been conditioned wrongly. Many writings, including the Epic of Gilgamesh, which predates the Bible by over a millennium, portray these stories in detail. The Enuma Elish, which was written before 1100 BCE, is the Babylonian creation story where most of the Judeo-Christian creation story of Genesis originated from. The Sumerians claim that Enlil and Enki began having wars all over the Middle East, as their children also chose their sides and instigated the battles even further. One notable god being Marduk, Enki's son. Enlil was said to have hated the human race so much for their evil thoughts that he decided to flood the earth and get rid of all traces of humans. Enki, still rebelling against the gods since he grew impartial to his creation, instructed Noah to build an ark to save mankind along with all living creatures. Enlil chose Abraham and his family to reveal himself to as the Most High God, and started carefully planning attacks against Enki, using Abraham and his descendants as the chosen people. This explains why Abraham's God tested blind obedience by giving Abraham a command to kill his own son, stopping him only after he had clearly made the choice to obey. The name Yahweh was almost unheard of until contemporary authors re-edited the first 5 books of the Bible around 950 BCE. It is important to know that it is widely understood by Christian historians that Moses was not the author of the Torah, and that the first 5 books of the Old Testament are pseudographica, or falsely attributed works. This is best explained collectively in the Christian community by modified models of the documentary hypothesis, which gives us usable titles for these contemporary authors. In the newly edited scriptures, Moses was said to have replaced El Shaddai or Baal with Yahweh Sabaoth, the Israeli god of war. This is the same god referred to as Jehovah due to a mistranslation of these letters, or the Tetragrammaton, since it can be interpreted like this as well. In Hebrew mythology, Yahweh was originally a title given to the head angel in which the universal god Ahaya Asher Ahaya spoke through. This is why the god known as Yahweh has many conflicting personality traits, and also why our modern Bibles confuse the term God with the term Angel of the Lord, using these titles as interchangeable. It must be noted that the name Baal is referring to the word Bel, which in mythology is also a title given to different gods throughout time, rather than a god himself. It simply means master. Since this new Israeli god of war was against the god which the Babylonians called Baal, the name Baal was no longer attached to Yahweh and was then seen as a separate god. At this particular time, the age of Aries had arrived, which was symbolized by Moses destroying the golden calf to make way for the prophesied Lamb of God. The age of Taurus, the bull, had come to an end, and the age of the ram had begun.
So, I think, Sis Sandra, one week you was asking about something, and you were like, I don't know which age that was in and the calculations. And when I was telling you that in the Bible, when they talk about like the bull and the Taurus and all of that, they were really talking about going from one age to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he's once again confirming here. Okay. Now, another thought that came to my mind, this is just my thought. It just popped in my mind. I don't know this for sure. I'm just going to put it out here, but we always eventually get the receipts behind it. So I thought about, as he was showing those planets, which we know that's not how the solar system looks because they're luminaries. The thought that came in my mind, maybe those planets are real, but that's their solar system, not over here.
Well, you know,
I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
a lot of these things, even the months of the years, are made to gods. And all of these solar system divisions also are made to gods. And it
absolutely
more than likely are their gods, you know, of the ones who coin these things, actually. Because I don't see where the sign of Sagittarius matches my traits, and it matches anybody's traits. It really doesn't matter what sign you're born on. And
yes,
they use that religiously to determine what your personality is going to be. That's crazy.
Right. So that's a very good point, sis Sandra. So even their zodiac, because we know now, we should know that this wheel or this time is being driven by that black sun, which is that electromagnetic coil. So all of this is their shit. This, as well as those planets that they tie all of the energy to as well. That's their shit. So when they came in terraforming, putting that dome on, changing the atmosphere, and putting the concepts of time, all of that is theirs, including what they're deeming planets, which we just see embedded in that dome as luminaries, but maybe in their dimension, solar system, that shit actually are different worlds. Now that's just a thought.
Yeah, because I was about to say, because we know that the dome, the firmament is there, and then from what was the one? Was that what happened on Earth? What happened on flat Earth and stuff. So like we're actually seeing these things like through the dome. So they're like not even so that's the question. Are they part of the dome, or is the dome separating us from those things that just exist like that?
Well, those,
because it's like we're looking at the dome, we're looking at the firmament dome, and we see these things, and we see them like that because there's the waters there. You're looking at like light through water through a dome.
Exactly. And there's a video on YouTube. Matter of fact, I'll search it while this is playing out and I'll play it. But this video goes over how stars are created, how luminaries are created. So I'm going to pull that video. Yeah, it is a clock, Brother Lex. And shout out to Brother Lex Will. Real cool brother. And why I respect Brother Lex, we don't agree on this shit. We straight don't agree. We don't agree on it. But we respect each other. Because we grown folks over here. We can have difference of opinion. It's not going to change my respect for another person. So shout out to Brother Lex Will. But yes, it's like a snow globe. Exactly, Brother Lex. That's exactly like it is. It's a snow globe clock. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So, but I'm going to, let me play this. I'll keep playing this, but I'm going to look for the video.
My real question was, hold on, my real question is, so my thing is like, so the luminaries, are they attached to the dome firmament, or are they existing outside the dome?
You're not paying attention. You're having an ADD moment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pull a video for you out. Okay, let's finish this.
All right.
In this age, the Sumerian god Marduk was said to begin his rule of Earth in place of Enlil, since he stole the right to rule from Enlil's son Ninurta. Marduk correlates with the planet Jupiter, which is interesting considering the Greek myth of Jupiter overthrowing Saturn as the ruling deity. The Egyptians soon recognized Marduk as Amun or Amen-Ra, who we all know today as simply Ra, the sun god. Here it is important to know the significance of what Ra was believed to represent in ancient Egypt. The modern view of Ra is that of a sun god, worshipped amongst many other gods in ancient Egypt. He is known as the light of the world, or the son of God, and usually associated with the 12 disciples, or the 12 signs of the zodiac. However, the god known as Ra today is actually a fusion of multiple Egyptian gods. Around 2030 BCE, original Egyptian mythology came to be replaced by eerily similar Babylonian tales, indicating that much of the Egyptian priesthood of the Middle Kingdom had descended from the original Magi of Babylon, who had just dispersed after their Tower of Babel incident. This priesthood recognized Marduk as Amen, which is why he wasn't originally a sun god at all, and wasn't too popular until after a pharaoh named Akhenaten came about. When Akhenaten came to rule as the pharaoh of the 18th dynasty of Egypt, he implemented the idea of free thought under a monotheistic religion, and elevated the Egyptian god Aton to being known as the one true god. This god is otherwise known as Aton-Ra, or an aspect of the composite deity Ra-Amen-Horus. Akhenaten claimed that priests were no longer needed, which obviously instigated upheaval and resentment from the priesthood. This is the first true sign of monotheism in human history. Aton was associated with light, and was symbolized by the sun disk giving life to Mother Earth. This imagery can be found in many pieces of modern art to this day. After Akhenaten's death, the Egyptian government proceeded to re-establish the previous pagan gods, and simply gave aspects of Aton, such as the sun disk, to Amen instead. Since Amen was given new traits, he was then known throughout Egypt as Amen-Ra instead of Aton-Ra. However, before Akhenaten died, he could easily see that the priests and religious leaders despised him, so he formed a plan to pass down his teachings through Egyptian mystery schools in case of betrayal. The schools lived on after Akhenaten's death, later to be dispersed throughout the entire Eastern world under different denominations such as the Therapeutian Brotherhood, Essene Brotherhood, and many other solar cults that still exist in secret societies today. Egyptian priests had a hard time keeping their citizens submissive when they were exposed to these teachings, so many of these cults were soon infiltrated by the Egyptian priesthood. Multiple counter-mystery schools were then made to demonize these teachings and to counterfeit truth for confusion's sake, usually by committing horrendous acts under the names of the mystery schools. The epitome of psychological warfare. These opposing schools of thought came to be known under the modern umbrella terms left eye of Ra or right eye of Ra. In the occult, this is known as the left-hand path and the right-hand path. Great measures were taken to try to erase Akhenaten, the god of Aton, from history, yet the evidence still survives to this day through documents such as the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Marduk or Amen was given the image of the universe instead of Aton for a religious influence of masses. The Sumerians state that in his rule, Marduk was said to have claimed to be the god of gods, and wanted man to worship his image in place of what was known as the All, or the Absolute. They created biological life on multiple planets, long before the Sumerian gods visited Earth. Marduk supposedly confused all civilizations by coming in the name of the god of creation, and all the gods before him and after him. Still fighting against Enlil, the priesthood of Amen-Ra ordered a mass number of Hebrew people to be used as slaves under the Egyptian pharaoh, and Enlil's son Ninurta used Moses to free Enlil's chosen people of Israel. According to biblical record, Ninurta appeared to Moses and chose to be known as Yahweh instead of El Shaddai. This was simply to recruit Moses for the Enlilite forces. The Bible is quite clear about the horrible acts of Yahweh, including being the God who demanded mass bloodshed by the hands of his followers. Yahweh is known for the deaths of innocent people and animals alike, blatant deception and favoritism amongst his own people, as well as instigating religious wars. The Bible even mentions Yahweh as a man of war. This particular Israeli god thrived on brutal animal sacrifices like the Enlil before him, and became the equivalent of the Greek god Zeus. This explains why the children of Israel reverted back to worshipping Baal and Asherah when they arrived in the Promised Land after the war was over. The modern Bible will say they had to choose between these two pagan gods or the Lord. Israelites would have to be intentionally rebelling to not worship the main God of Israel. This is why it's beneficial to know this God by the name Yahweh. Babylon started the movement of monotheistic polytheism, or the devotion to one god in particular amongst many gods, as they lifted Marduk to the top of their pantheon. Judaism was still majorly polytheistic at this time, but as we near 622 BCE, we see a huge shift in early Judeo-Christian religion. This happened when King Josiah of Israel had his high priest create a forgery of the law of Moses called Deuteronomy to support monotheistic polytheism. This was to utilize the Israeli god of war, Ninurta, or Yahweh, to give the Israelites a fighting chance against the Babylonian god of war, Marduk. This is also why our modern Bibles are still overflowing with polytheistic texts. This marked the beginning of a cult of individuals known by historians as Yahwists. When the prophet Jeremiah predicted the fall of Israel to the forces of Babylon that occurred around 600 BCE, he too claimed it would be because of lack of devotion to Yahweh. Judah inevitably lost to Babylon, and the children of Israel were exiled to live in Babylon under King Nebuchadnezzar. At this time, the Babylonians were attributing their victory to Marduk and their devotion to him in particular. This is now known as Marduk's defeat of the Israelite forces of Israel. Marduk was said to have changed Egyptian hieroglyphs and monuments in his rule as Amun-Ra to glorify himself instead of other gods, and told humanity that he was the only god. Now that the Israelis were heavily exposed to the Babylonian religion and the Enuma-Elish creation story, Israel suffered the same fate as the Egyptians. This is when the contemporary biblical authors re-edited books such as Genesis, adding a second creation story that parallels the story of Marduk. This seemingly out-of-place myth starts at Genesis 2:4 and is contradictory to the original creation story that is at the beginning of Genesis. Later writers even attributed Marduk's defeat of the Leviathan Tiamat to Yahweh instead. This is when the name Yahweh was attached to the Babylonian Marduk instead of Ninurta, and would remain that way until present day. The Israelites were completely devastated after their exile to Babylon, since they felt as if they were losing touch with Yahweh. The biblical author known as 2nd Isaiah added his book Isaiah under the rule of Babylon, which seems to establish the God of Abrahamic religions we know today. The text from his installment reads, "I am the first and I am the last, and beside me there is no God." Previous books of the Old Testament were then re-edited once more so that the Hebrew religion could survive under Babylonian authority, and the names El Shaddai, El Elyon, Elohim, Amen, Adonai, and God were explained by the priestly source known as P as simply other names for Yahweh. Through many modifications, the Old Testament eventually replaced the gods El Shaddai, Asherah, and the rest of the Elohim with Marduk, just as the Egyptians and Babylonians had previously done. The name of the true Israeli god, Ahaya Ashurahaya, was almost removed completely. This is why modern Christians and Bibles refer to many gods of the Old Testament as Yahweh. Marduk is known as the god of 50 names, but today he is known as Amun-Ra, Yahweh, Allah, or simply God. In a way, the Sumerian god Marduk really had deceived humanity into worshipping him above all others, whether you believe the Sumerians made him up or not. As the astrological age of Aries came to a close, so did the teachings of original Judaism. The new age of Pisces was on the horizon, and was to be symbolized by the Christians 700 years later as the Lamb of God being slain, introducing the age of fishers of men. But that's a story for another video.
All right.
These are fishers of men.
Yes, the fishers of men. So that was from the Sisters Ascended Light video that's called The Abrahamic Conspiracy. So let me get the stars, child. See, this is why we can't be getting to the regular material. But it's all good. Okay, so hold on. Let's get on these stars. Wait a minute. I gotta copy this.
Tell you what, they got so many gods out there that make you get a headache just think about it.
What you say, Sis Sandra?
So many names for a god. You notice they have a woman out there.
Well, I mean, what are those names representing, though?
Anunnaki, though.
Exactly.
Matter of fact,
it's different beings taking those same positions. So, like the sister said, it's like a presidency or governor or whomever. When your time is up, you done served your term. I'll put it that way. You done served your term. Then the council appoints someone else.
You know, they talked about Anunnaki, you know, and I remember they used to think that Obama was a recreation of him. But
they did of Anunnaki, right, yes.
I know that he started with the Ra, the sun god, worshiping his wife. According to the history I remember about it, because he was mad because they didn't accept what he was telling them. So he just wrote his own story too, Anunnaki did.
Right. But y'all should understand how that's the same bloodline tied back to the Anunnaki, right? Now, what's Blood's name again?
Anunnaki?
Akhenaten.
Right. Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Right. I was just about to say, you can hear their names all throughout their names. The Ak, them K's and them H's and that Ak and all that, like.
That hack and shit. The back of the throat shit. Right. It's the same exact bloodline. And so that's why I was saying people that come up out of religion and then they fall into the Egyptian stuff, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And you got people in the unconscious community running around talking about they raw, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, y'all ain't done no studying like you fucking claim you have.
It's like the Ankh too. The Ankh is a cross.
Anunnaki. It's the same thing. All right, so I found a little sound wave video. I got actually 2, so hold on. All right, wait, let me bring it up on the screen. Oh, okay, it was still up. Okay, my bad. Good. All right, so this is Lee Ann, 2013. What happens when you collapse an underwater bubble with sound waves? Okay, and I do have another one I want to pull for y'all too, but let's watch this. Damn, that's loud.
It's a process called Sono luminescence.
The first time I saw Sono luminescence was in a darkened room. I was transfixed to look at this spherical flask of fluid. And you look into the center, and in the center see a glowing blue-purple light, which could be seen with the unaided eye. It looked like a star in the heavens.
Seth Putterman called it the star in a jar, a tiny spot of bright light contained in a flask of liquid. This star in a jar is made when a sound wave is passed through a small bubble inside a flask of liquid. And this sound wave makes the bubble do something remarkable. First it expands, then it collapses. And this collapse happens so violently that vapor molecules trapped inside the bubble slam together and heat up so much that the bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second, giving the appearance of a star. What made the phenomenon so exciting was the temperature of this star in a jar. On its surface alone, the light burns at tens of thousands of degrees. And Seth Putterman now contemplated a tantalizing possibility. Could the core of the collapsing bubble be even hotter? Hot enough for fusion?
One of the mysteries of sonoluminescence is to determine exactly how hot the interior of the bubble gets. In the sun, the interior can be millions of degrees, hot enough to cause fusion. And the thought crossed my mind that perhaps inside the collapsing bubble, the interior of the bubble might also get hot enough to cause fusion.
If so, this would be something truly amazing. By simply bombarding tiny bubbles with sound waves, temperatures of over 10 million degrees would be created. And nuclear fusion, the same reaction that powers the sun, would be happening almost effortlessly here on Earth.
All right, so son Scotty, you finished to get the Jeopardy questions. So you better have been paying paying attention. So now recap that for us. I'm waiting. Son
Okay,
Scotty.
so a bubble within water, a bubble within a bubble within water.
What drives that bubble?
The sound. What drives the bubble?
Yep, you said it. Sound.
Oh, yeah. So the sound waves were able, the frequency was able to rise enough up to create like a nuclear fusion, like a nuclear reaction. So create a sun.
Bingo. So where is that source of sound and heat coming from? This is the Jeopardy question. How much you want to put on it first?
I'm gonna put everything on it.
Okay.
I think it's coming from the black sun.
You got it. Exactly.
Because that's what I was going to say. The associations with sound and music and Lucifer, Black Sun. I'm like, these stars must be like singing or something like that. And I'm like, they put the woman singing in the video, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
You did excellent. Absolutely.
And sis, she said a liquid. She didn't say what kind of liquid.
She did.
That's what I'm wondering.
Bingo. So you take.
Yeah.
You got the double Jeopardy. Dun, 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 Brother Sean. Exactly. She didn't say what type of liquid.
I'm just wondering what it is, though.
Because to me, that's still technology.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day. So let me go to this other video.
Some plasma.
Huh?
I was about to say plasma.
Or some type of amniotic fluid.
Yeah.
Or a version of it.
Oh, or a version of amniotic. I thought about a version of amniotic fluid, actually. Agreed.
Yeah, I was thinking of, because that's why I said plasma, some type of fluid that can hold like electricity, magnetism, some type of like kind of liquidy, kind of solid, like, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. So hold on.
Which is what I think is too with the crystal dome. I think like, because I'm still stuck on that, like what is it like all composed of, and like the separations of it or the attachments of it, like, yeah. So yeah.
All right, so this is water frequency. Okay, so that video again was what happens when you collapse an underwater bubble with a sound wave. All right, so hold on a second. Let me get this next one. Oh, shoot. Hold on. All right, let me...
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, razzle dazzle, like, can we vibrate this dome off us? Just blast that shit off with our frequency. That's what I'm saying. I'm really trying to plot on this bitch. Like, what is this? I need to know, is it like completely foreign? Is it something part of us too? Like, do we need to like, what the fuck we got to do?
I mean, I don't see why we couldn't.
Celestial choir sending frequencies through the cosmos. Yes, Queen Ottawa. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, because the associations with music in general, like, you know, and like the media we put out just goes out into like, we seem to view it as so pejorative and negative because of what these, you know, motherfuckers is doing with it. But if we use it for, you know, fucking other purposes, you know, everything with intention, everything is about intention, and they just only doing things from their negative intention. But if we do it from our positive intention, like, you know, I feel like we can really fuck it up.
Yeah, which that's what we've been talking about, what, for 6-something years, Brother Sean? So
I believe it's a condensed.
What you say?
I think it's a condensed frequency. You know, like a force field, because a force field is just basically a frequency within an applied area.
Yes.
Yeah. So after this one, since y'all done brought up frequency, I'm going to bring up another video about frequency. So, and it's going to be short. So let's get into this one. This is David Julius. Put this out in 2018. Thank you so much, David Julius. Water, frequency, and stars.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light.
The first time I saw solar luminescence was in a darkened room. I was transfixed to look at this spherical flask of fluid.
And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the water,
A tiny spot of bright light contained in a flask of liquid.
And you look into the center, and in the center see a glowing blue-purple light, which could be seen with the unaided eye.
All right, so I didn't know they was going to go over the same thing, but oh well.
This star in a jar is made when a sound wave is passed through a small bubble inside a flask of liquid. And this sound wave, and this sound wave.
And God said.
Oh, this was the video I was going to play.
Cymatics.
And this collapse happens so violently that vapor molecules trapped inside the bubble slam together and heat up so much that the bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second, giving the appearance of a star.
Okay, so they actually play, but I'm going to still go ahead and play this other video because they go a little deeper and do the hertz. So who wants to recap that one right quick? And give us your what you putting on it from a Jeopardy. How much fiat you putting on it? Who wants to recap that when they were bringing in the frequency stuff? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? All right, I'll let that slide.
It's always me.
I know, no, you didn't earn yours. You earned yours. Brother Sean got a daily double. Sis Sandra, Bueller.
Let me say this. I saw the other day, by using frequency, you defy gravity. And they are finding that instead of the balloon falling that has water in it and hitting you on top of the head, with the 9.8 field of gravity, per seconds to drop, that if you use frequency, the balloon will go the other way. And so basically, what I'm seeing here is what they're saying, that frequency will make it go up and give you a different type of fusion and break apart and some energy coming from it. So we can, they said by consciousness and frequency, we can defy the gravity and break through that dome. Well, I'm saying that's what we're going to do. But we can break through the pull of gravity. And that's what the frequency was doing with that balloon.
Okay, I'm going to give you that. Okay. All right. So you got it. So how much did you put on that?
I put it all. I bet it.
Okay, you bet it all. All right. So y'all all in the tie. Okay, so this video is by Brust Pup. Amazing resonance experiment. Now, some of you probably seen this before, and they showed it a little bit in the last video, but they're going to go into a little bit more detail just so you all can really enter and understand what frequency really is and the power of frequency. You should have seen what the power.
And I just wanted to put something in.
Go ahead.
Put something in on that last video where they was showing the cymatics, where they was throwing the salt on the pad and pumping the frequency, the sound frequency through it, and it was coming up with all those sacred geometry patterns and stuff like that. So yeah, and they say that suppose.
All right, we back connected. Okay. Ciao. All right, here we go. I gotta cut the music. They get on my nerves. Get on my nerves. Ciao. So we had to cut the music.
That's just like that water experiment, isn't it? The frequency of the water, if it's good hertz, it changes, make a nice pattern. If it's a bad hertz, it make it a crazy design. It's almost like an MRI machine as well when you take MRIs, because it's done on radio waves and frequency. And then they can tell the shape of the lesion or whatever they're looking for, whatever, by the frequency and the radio waves, of which how fast they move and so on and so forth. And it also can tell the density of it and how wide it is, just like this salt is being shaped by the frequency.
Wow, that's pretty good. Putting it from how they are applying frequency via frequency.
Right, an MRI and stuff. Yeah, they use that like that.
Yep. Okay, so they're showing you the hertz. And as you can see, as the hertz change, because the hertz represents the frequency sound wave. You see the different shapes changing.
What if you get density? You probably get density too. You could probably measure the density of those things too.
Absolutely. That's why when they say everything is created via frequency, well, not they. That's what Tesla said. He was correct. Okay.
Crop circles.
Huh?
Crop circles.
Ooh, crop circles.
Oh yeah, that's how they create them too. Because the graph.
Them same patterns, geometrical patterns, just out of the other. There is no lines in or out of it. I'm just thinking it was done with frequency, unless spaceships got some type of stamp on them and they just come down and stamp the ground and go back up.
I don't even think that. I think you hit it out the park. I think it's sound frequency.
Yeah. And the grass would have the sodium in it.
Sis, I don't know what's going on with you, but you sounding far away.
Because don't that Bible, it be like, start with, the word. It was the word, and the word became flesh and all of that. So that's sound frequency, right? Like,
yeah. Absolutely it is.
Let me get closer. Maybe that's
so
could be
I'm
that
like,
too, bro, Lex.
Huh?
Bro, Lex said what it fits a message from below to above. As far as for crop circle. Yeah, very well could be.
Could be.
Right, because I mean, ain't that where that supposedly that black sun is?
Which is the electromagnetic coil.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Which pretty much emits a frequency.
Right.
Which
and we know about them tests with the tones. What was that one test with the tones, like Pavlov's dog and all that type of shit?
Mm-hmm.
We probably so in, we don't even hear the tone or the vibe no more. It's like so in us. The song that the black sun is singing, that magnetic tone or whatever frequency is giving out, that God is singing a little song, lulling us.
Again, let's go back over that. Let's go. Remember, your electromagnetic field, but they call it in the spiritual community your Merkaba or your energy field. You have a tune. And shout out to Seven.
Oh, yeah.
He was the first one that I ever heard say that everybody has a tune. Which makes sense. So meaning you're nothing but energy. So you have a certain frequency that you emit. You have a tune that is a sound wave, an electromagnetic sound wave.
Some people call them like auras and stuff, if you read any Stephen King or something in them esoteric books.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the colors have association with a frequency. Like, exactly. Oh, that's what I was going to say, how like light and music go together. It's like, I heard someone say like, music is light we can see, and light is music we can. Sorry, I'm going to figure it out. But it's something to do with light and music being the same thing. Sorry.
You distracted my point. So interrupt when you got a full point. So that's your electromagnetic field. That meaning your sound.
And you have organs. Organ is an instrument.
Let me go on and give you. Exactly.
You know,
so that means you are responding to the electromagnetic energy in the atmosphere generated by that black sun. So to me, that means that black sun not only creates the sun and the moon, and now we're pretty much sure those stars also, that means it also has to create the atmosphere.
So that means we gotta defeat the black sun, right? The magnetic pull of it and the magnetic vibrations that we give out.
And how do you defeat the black sun?
We'll have to work on that because our consciousness will do that if we have the frequency high enough. We can vibrate out.
Very good.
Out of that.
Very good. That's why when we say it's all about energy and frequency, it literally is all about energy and frequency.
And that's mathematics.
And mathematics, exactly. So take note of you unconscious community motherfuckers. Women figured that shit out, not you niggas. Exactly.
That's why they keep trying to tell you what frequency they want you to vibrate at.
Exactly.
Why keep putting limits on yourself? See how far you can go. You don't have to place no limits on yourself because some people choose to go to a particular place or other. Exactly. Do you just go beyond, and just keep going, see what it do. You'd be surprised at what can happen. We supposed to be creators, and as it's being shown that everything that we think was natural to us isn't
natural.
And we're actually able to go beyond their program. If they're capable of creating this, which has us entrapped, and they basing this off of our technology, don't you think we can create something else greater with just a thought?
Exactly.
We don't have to be entrapped by anything. It's a choice. They constantly tell you all of this is by consent.
That's right.
They're warring people. War is part of it. It's what they do. It's part of their program. And we've accepted it. But we can go beyond it. That's why they placed us in duality, to have us think that we only had two choices.
That's right.
Evil or the lesser evil. Because ain't none of this shit good.
No.
So we're not choosing in between good and evil. It's just the lesser of two evils. Because as the sister said, just because Inky had a little more compassion for us, that don't mean that he was a great God.
Exactly.
But I digress.
No, excellent point. Because that's just like when we just, well, not we, because I don't give a fuck about none of that. When the corporation just had their election, and folks that's into that system was arguing with melanated people, oh, you gotta vote for the lesser of one evil. Because they're so stuck in the matrix, they can't see, no. Really, freedom of choice is not to vote for either one. If both of them are a piece of shit, you telling me to pick the shit that you think smells the least worst, but it's still a pile of shit at the end of the day. That's what folks have been bamboozled over. picking among selections that's all piece of shit. It's all colonization. It's all slavery. Instead of stepping away from it all, saying, I don't want any of that, and I do not consent to any of that. And so the very last thing I wanted to say was when we talk about, I think, Son Scotty, you brought up about not being able to hear the natural tunes. You can literally hear the tones, the natural tones, when you start to break down all of this matrix shit and let go of these systems. Remember, I have told you all several times, that's when some people say the ringing in the ear, that boo. And I'm not going to do that too long, because last time I did it, it knocked us literally off the air.
Can I say something?
Before you say something.
Okay.
Do you all understand what I just said?
Yes.
When you're hearing that ringing in your ear with that tone, boo, you are picking up those sound frequencies. How do you think the animals are able to navigate? Last time I checked, animals ain't got no compass. The animals use the electromagnetic field. You just have forgotten all of that because you're going by their concept of time. And being able to see stuff, being able to smell stuff, instead of using your Merkaba. Because if you use your Merkaba, or your energy, or your chakra field, nothing could be able to hold you back. None of their technology could be able to hold you back. So when I tell you all to get off the board, that is what I am telling you. Through your consciousness, your subconsciousness, you control your energy field. You don't have to be connected to any of it. Okay, I'm done, Sis Sandra.
Okay, it's maybe been said before, but this is what.
I can't, Lex, because I did that before and it knocked us off the air. Literally, it totally shut my whole computer all the way down.
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
What I'm saying is probably been said before, but let me think that the hoochie coochie gives you 2D density. It keeps you at 2D level because they hook you up to their soundboard or their computer.
Wait, Sis Sandra, can you speak a little louder?
I know, she killing us tonight. We don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's happening.
We hear something in the background.
Like a fan or something?
Right, like, are y'all trying to match what I say? Now, don't make me shut y'all shit down and throw a frequency out on y'all ass.
I'm at 97% on my,
What are you next to?
I'm next to an air cooler. I've been next to an air cooler for years.
Well, we hear that, honey. We don't hear you.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I don't know why. Maybe I should get more closer to the computer. But
that would help. We can hear you now. Okay, go ahead.
So, what if that hoochie coochie, they knew that we were going to come to this conclusion that we're making tonight on how we can defeat that dome and get free from their matrix? And maybe they're trying desperately to make sure that we get their 2D density, hoochie coochie, so that we don't, as a 1% or whatever percentage it needs, for us to beat that dome, that black sun.
Maybe. Maybe.
Because they're trying to keep the channel in the corral. They're trying to keep us as slaves, just like marking the dog. You don't want your dog to get away. But if we all start vibrating with a higher frequency, then they're going to be tough out of luck.
I agree with that. And then I think it's twofold because I think the technology is breaking down.
Yeah.
Because Mother Earth, her electromagnetic field.
Rising too.
Exactly. Because remember, they conquered her by excavating her veins and all of that, by cutting down those ancient trees and excavating the vibraniums, i.e. the crystals, the silicon and the crystals and all of that up out of her. So that drastically changed her natural energy field / electromagnetic field.
So when she rises, we rise.
Right, which she is rising.
Yes, exactly. And those who decide to be terraformed, which is what they're doing, being terraformed by these entities, will remain within their control in the lower density.
Exactly, in the lower density. You hit, I ain't gonna lie, you knocked it out the park. Let me go on and give you your explosion. You got that, in the lower density. Exactly. So meaning they got something already set up for some re-terraforming. Exactly. It's something already set up for re-terraforming.
Yeah, it's called the reset.
Right, i.e. the reset. Exactly.
And I still don't believe as many people took it as they say.
Because
they've been lying the whole time.
They offering weed. Next, we gonna see them offering chicken sandwiches.
You can't go into restaurants. You can't go to stores. You won't be able to buy or sell until you take the hoochie coochie.
And it still ain't gonna work because folks still don't get, no fucks are given. All they doing is really pissing people off.
Yeah, they are.
Because now they're allegedly and supposedly assassinating leaders in other countries because they like fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just this show is just a bit desperate and reaching now. I mean, for people to still keep believing the narrative that they got out, to me, it's just asinine. Because if they could have made it mandatory, they would have done it by
exactly.
now.
Would have been.
They don't have it. They don't have the power people think that they do.
Exactly.
The only power they have is in your mind.
What you give them.
If you didn't take your dumb ass to get the vaccine, guess what? You wouldn't be vaccinated.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's that simple.
I mean, it can't get no more clear than that. It's like, back when you go to clubs, I mean, I guess folks still go to clubs, and somebody trying to buy you a drink, and you don't want to accept that drink from that ugly looking alien motherfucker because you don't want him harassing you all motherfucking night. So you send that bitch back. Bartender come back. Oh, I'm still not interested. Tell him I said thank you. Then he want to roll his cross-eyed ass up. Oh, I see Miss Lady. Same different. No means no, nigga. Same with this. Desperate. So, with that said, y'all, I'm actually going to end early tonight because I just cannot do another 6 hour, y'all. So I need to give myself some time back. And I know if we start back into the pattern, we're going to wind up going a little extra. So, Son Scotty, you have any last words?
Yes, just going off of this. We see how powerful our sounds, our frequencies our vibrations, all this shit we talking about, how powerful it is. The words you choose, the actions you choose, they have vibrations, they have effects and consequences. So don't think that they don't know that either. And they're using that against you every day in subtle ways and very obvious, overt ways, which is just like, sometimes it's just like, well, damn, do you not get it at this point? But either way it goes, it starts with you, and you got to know your power and the role you play, and hold yourself accountable. And that's it.
All right. Sis Sandra, you have any last words for the family?
You know, this is going to be a wonderful releasing of energy from our people to understand we're not only just making ourselves better, but we're going to make our planet and Mother Earth better if we stay in tune and keep up with her vibrating upward, so we can get out of the matrix that they set us in. And I'm just like really looking at all the gifts that we lost on 3D. We lost a lot of the things that made us freer people and happier people. And love is one of the things that we have to ascribe to make other people happy. Not only you make yourself happy, but other people happy too. So, and that frequency of happiness and love will get us more vibration.
Indeed. Thanks, sis. And I'm finna mute you because you're interference. So I'm gonna mute you. So, but thank you. Yes, sis.
Everybody. Love y'all.
Okay, love you too, sis. Thank you.
Peace and love.
Brother Sean, you have any last words for the family?
Yeah. You can't forget to put in that soul work. If you have no mastery of yourself in the astral realm, that's why you're fucked up in its physical manifestation. It's about your soul.
That's right.
Period. That's what it's all about. All of this is an experience for the soul. It shouldn't be an experience that costs you your soul. That's time right. And time again. But if that's what you choose, you're within your right. You have the right to choose, but you don't have the right to choose for others. Right. If you still believe that you have to make choices for other people, then you're compensating or trying to compensate for what you don't know about yourself. Mm. Love y'all. Wholeness and power.
All right. Thank you, Brother Sean. Thank you. And thank you, son Scotty. And thank you, sis Sandra. Thank you all, my wonderful co-hosts. Thank you, family. Thank you to the YouTube chat. Y'all were breaking it down. Very, very great as usual. And thank you to the YouTube family that hung in there with us. So we will be back next week. We'll get back into finishing up the time travel patent, and we're going to get back into finishing up the Terra Papers also. So we love you all very much, family. And we will be back next Thursday. So love you all, family.
We are in the age of truth, freedom, love, prosperity, abundance, and peace. Welcome to Truth UnCONPromeyezed.